Woohoo! Welcome everybody to Hex Token channel. We're back live. So very cool. And of course, I'm your host, Superman. Welcome. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, all those good things. And to everybody that's there here watching, pretty much get into the chat, say hello. Community is number one, numero uno. So get in the chat there, folks. If you've heard anything good, let us know in the chat. We can check it out, of course. And yeah, if you've got any questions, we've got plenty of question time today. It's going to be pretty cool. Title of the video today is Pulsechain is a game changer. So that is the main topic. That's a headline topic. Then, of course, we've got the Hex and Hedron dual token system. Now, that's been pretty much Brazology's been talking about that. So we're going to talk about that a bit today. And, of course, we're going to also kind of cover the sacrifices for liquid loans, Mintra, PowerCity, and internet money. Obviously, we're going to cover all that too. So lots of good stuff there, folks. We're also going to obviously look at the Hex price and the Hedron price. That's kind of first up, actually. So let's get into it. I think my audio is up and running pretty well. Yeah, it sounds pretty good to me. So let's get into that and let us go. Let's see who's in the chat at the moment. We got Fish Tank in the house. Pro tip: if a girl in a hot bikini DMs you about crypto, ignore him. I thought that was pretty funny. Very cool. And of course, welcome to everybody. Very nice there. Got the cool emojis. Man, I love these emojis. We've got rockets, got the Hex emoji, the Pulsechain emoji, the channel anthem emoji. Woohoo! And we've got the 555 for 555 stickers. We've got the Hex Token channel, one with Richard Hart. And of course, we've got Pulse X in green, which looks so cool against the background. Very nice. Fish Tank says, friends beware. A token called Hexaverse HXRS just launched on the ETH network. Most likely a scam. Please be careful. And I reiterate that for sure. Sandeep's in the house from Calcutta, India. Woohoo! Hey, good to see you, Sandeep. Big shout out there. And of course, Neil and Berara's in the house, ready and waiting in Bali. Nice one, Neil. Appreciate that. So Neil's in Bali, Matt's in Bali. I think it's Maria's in Bali. Very cool. A big shout out to people in Bali, man. What a great place to live, and also get involved with the Hex and the Pulsechain and the PulseX. Pretty nice. Taffrin's in the house too with the money bags and the rockets. Good to see Taffrin in there. Folks, get into the chat. Love it. Here we are, folks, hex.com. And, of course, basically the best place to stake, right? You can get around about a 38% payment on inflation. So all the stakers in Hex enjoy the inflation of Hex. You really are like the miners in Bitcoin. When you own shares, or what we call them T-shares, standing for trillions of shares, you earn an awesome return in Hex payments. And, of course, the growth of the community continues to expand. Here it's got the wallets of 434,000 wallets already own Hex. And, of course, that's going to super explode when Pulsechain comes, which is the main topic we're going to talk about today. Pulsechain coming, this is going to supercharge this. And, of course, man, Hex is already scarce. It's going to get even more scarcer. Is that a cool word, scarcer? It's going to get more scarcer, of course. At the moment, of course, the market price can do what it wants. You know, market prices can be quite detached from fundamentals, and we've seen that many times. But Hex itself is actually getting scarce on a bigger number. So as soon as you get bigger buyers coming in, you get more buyers coming in, the scarcity of the Hex really shows up pretty fast. So you're going to see that price move up pretty strongly. So pretty cool, folks. And, of course, you can buy Hex on Uniswap, decentralized exchange, the biggest and baddest one around. Well, I think there's a few other big dexes, but it's pretty big. And, of course, you can do buys and sells on there. You can buy Hex even off the website here, just connecting your MetaMask wallet, which is you can have it as an extension on your Chrome browser, MetaMask wallet, and you can buy straight off there. You can obviously get your Hex. Then you can go to go.hex.com. That's go.hex.com. You got the links here. I'm not even sure they got the how to buy here at the top here. So get a MetaMask wallet, buy Ethereum, swap it for Hex, and then stake it on go.hex.com. So very simple. And they got cool videos how to do that too. So nice. So get into that, folks. How to buy Hex, very cool. Around about 30% APY. And of course, on top of that, you get penalties, folks. If people break their investments or their stakes, as we call it, you get the penalties from that. So it's beautiful, 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 at least 50%. And of course, that's on top of that inflation. So you can get huge APY. Sometimes we've had APYs up at 70 APY on the day. It really is awesome return. So that's Hex, folks. So let's go. Of course, that's for people that are new to Hex, not all you pros out there that know Hex upside down. So let's jump over to the Hex price, and we're going to talk about that. But first, we've got a few people in the chat. We've got John Gibbons. Greetings from the UK. Thanks as always, Hex Token. Hey, John, it's a pleasure. And Susie Q's in the house. Love it, love it, love it. I love it too. I love all those heart faces there, Susie Q. Very, very nice. And Benny Blanco says, hey, Hex Token, just stopping in. Hey, Benny, great to see you. And you can always watch the show later on the rewind. That's the way to go. They want to be so bad, says, yeah, that's right, they do. Benny says, everyone tries to copy us. That is true. True. And how I made it says, I have a confession. I sacked for Pulse Hex, Liquid Loans, PowerCity, and Internet Money. Come at me, bro. Hey, well done. How I made it. Very, very cool. You got a nice diversified portfolio there. I'm sure you're going to do pretty exciting there. And the cool thing is you get to participate on those exciting projects. So very nice. When bounce, says the Nepstar. Hey, we've just got to wait. So that's just the way we're going at the moment. Now, obviously, we're going to talk about Pulsechain. That's coming up. There's the headline topic. But let's get into the Hex prices at the moment. We've had a big rally up here, big pull back down. We're in this giant big triangle, as we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. And of course, we have we had a little bust out. This was so good. But the Hex price is not at the moment, while the volume is as it is influenced by staking. Okay, so the Hex price chart, when you do TA, it is still subject to OG staking. It's still subject to derivative products. Obviously, Hex is the best savings one out on the planet, but you've got a Hedron now, which is a dual token system, as Brazolji likes to call it. And of course, it's a nice derivative there as well, derivative play. Now, Hedron, I imagine Hedron's not going to be the only derivative play. That means like a bonus airdrop or offering utility on top of Hex. We could see a lot more of these after Hedron's success. You could see a lot of developers are doing airdrop type things on top of Hex holders. So not only are you going to earn this awesome Hex returns, you also, like Hedron, you're getting a big airdrop. And what other derivative plays contracts are going to be added on top of Hex? It could be exciting, folks. So just keep that in the back of your mind, that a lot of value adds. You get your Hex, you get your Hedron. On top of that, what else are you going to get? What else is coming down the pipeline? Hedron has really opened the gates for other programs. They saw what happened to the price, 12x on the price. They're going to go, whoa, I could get on to derivative product. If I can add value, if I've got a market fit, that might actually work. So pretty exciting if you ask me. The potential is really, really cool down the road. Now, the other thing, of course, is that this has actually impacted the price. So we've had some people, while the market volume's low, while we're down at the prices down here around the 10, 12 cent mark, we've had people switching out from Hex over to Hedron, particularly when we've on the downfall of Hedron. We're in this downward current at the moment. I'm just going to get rid of the, let me just add, actually, I'll just add some structure here. So let me just put that in there. And of course, let's put it on another arrow here, just to get that structure in place as well. Let me put that over there. Boom. All right. Let me just take that. That's not quite right there. And bam. All right. So we've got this downward channel at the moment. And of course, we've been talking pretty accurately about this price. And I don't see any reason why it's not going to continue down this channel for a little while yet. So what happens is that as the price gets dumped on, people sell Hex. So they sell Hex and they're buying up, trying to get the big X gains on Hedron here. So when the price comes down, you see some selling of Hex, and then up there, it's not all the Hex that gets sold, but some of the accounts get sold. Some of the bigger wallets, we've seen that yesterday. We saw that happen several times. And then, of course, when the price comes down here, we saw it here. When the price got pulled back, a big seller was selling 3 billion at a time, sold out a huge bag, and of course, pull the price down to 4,200. Then we saw some Hex people selling and buying Hedron, and of course, that pushes the Hex price down. but pushes the Hedron price up. But it's still in a downtrend. There's still more sellers than buyers. So though we've had a sell-off and then a pump, a sell-off there and then a pump, I don't think it's over yet. So we've still got our next price floor for Hedron is 3,000 to 3,300. And of course, we've been pretty accurate on this channel with these assessments on the way up and on the way down. So yeah, just be a bit cautious at this stage. And of course, if we look at the Fibonacci, we can see that the Fibonacci is about 3,100 for a 61.8, and typically a lot after a huge run up, 61.8 is kind of typically the minimum you might see. You can often see a 78 too. But I think because of the diamond hands in Hex, and of course with the utility of this platform, I think we may only get to 61.8. So that's why I'm kind of feeling like 3,000 to 3,300 is the play. So the 3,000 is from the Fibonacci, and the 3,300 is from our price support. It's very weak on the way up, but it was there. So that's kind of the range to fall down, and so we could still see it going down. Now it's not inevitable. We're trying to play probability here, and of course that's kind of where I feel like it might end up on there. So if we put up a smiley face, it's not going to be too smiley face, but it's going to be kind of where I think where it could kind of end. But once again, it's not inevitable. It's kind of like for me, it's probably a 70-30 thing. A 70-30, 70% is going to go down here. 30% it could jump out of this channel and move upwards. So it could do this, could move up there, and of course, let's do a nice little green candle. Let's put a little. Actually, I don't have the arrow on that. Anyway, so let's do. It could go up that way. I'm not sure what happened to my arrow candle. Where's my arrow? Bam. We'll put that one up there instead. Could do something like that. Let's delete that, and of course break out before it reaches down here. So let's copy that too, and so that's the kind of scenario there, and we'll pull that back up here. So we'll make that red, red, but we won't make it too red. We'll just make it mildly red, and of course that's where we could go there. And of course, if you're picking up there, right, you're going to be pretty happy. You know, a bit of a smiley face. If you're still holding and you're depressed about the price going down, you'll be a bit sad, to be a bit of a red face. But I think it's about like 70% chance of going down the channel still, and a 30% chance of breaking out. It's kind of where I feel it's kind of that probability. But cool. It was a 12x run up. Remember, it was a 12x run up, and of course there was a lot of price discovery there, and we kind of have found the price discovery. So pretty important there. Let's scroll this out a bit further. So I'm talking about the Hex price, but you notice I'm talking about Hedron, right? Because the derivative, it's a derivative, it's an airdrop, it's a derivative of Hex, it's a value added onto Hex, but there at the moment, while Hex volume is just low, it's vulnerable to the derivative products. That kind of makes sense. Obviously, when the Hex price goes on a run, then it's not going to be so much. But of course, there's going to be this linkage, I think, going on, that dual token linkage. It's a benefit going on the way up. I also think that the price of Hex will also, over time, have a bigger determining factor on the price of Hedron, believe it or not, because of the way in Hedron you do HSI stakes. I think that's going to have an influence in the fact that how you value that, because you can recycle, right? You can claim your Hedron, then restake your sell your Hedron, buy Hex, and then do that way, or you can hold on to your Hedron and speculate. So there's a couple of strategies. Which one's going to play out best is kind of the thing. But I kind of feel like if you're going to do that, it's going to certainly have an interaction between Hex and Hedron there. But hey, Hedron may not be the last one, as I say, the last derivative. We could have other airdrops on there that are also derivatives of Hex or sitting on top of Hex. And of course, that's going to be fascinating as well. Because remember, when I say derivative, it's basically Hedron. If you've got native stakes, you're going to be able to mint Hedron onto that Hex. So that's where it's derived from. Value is derived from, underlying value is derived from Hex. And that's how you get your Hedron per B share per day served is in the play. So pretty interesting, folks. So like I say, it's going to be interesting to watch this. Of course, I actually expect some big money to come into Hedron, to be honest, but I just don't think it's quite now. But yeah, it's going to come in, and we could see. The biggest buy I've seen is $670,000. Let me know in the chat if you've seen a big one, but it's the biggest one I've seen. And of course, we could end up seeing $2 million eventually, not straight away, but as the pool gets bigger. because at the moment we've got a market cap of 281 million, spectacular. We've got a liquidity of 7.1 million, so that's still it's great, but as an open, it's fantastic, but it's still on the smaller side. So if you add 2 million to that, the 2 million buy, it goes to 9 million, but the price goes up huge, right? So you just got to take that into it. Might just slowly build up there, but we could see stuff like that in the future, definitely within the 2-month period. As I say, I do still have my my longer term views on the price there. And of course, if we go scroll up here, I think I've still got my channels here, and this is from the beginning day. So the beginning day, we had a high of 3,184. That's kind of where I think the support's going to come in if it does go fully down this channel. For a 61.8 retrace, but the next target's a 10,000. Quite a lot of psychological thing. We'll have a battle between 7,500, 850 to there, and then push through to 8 and then a 10. And of course, we'll probably either just fall short or just go over the 10 and have a battle around the 10 and then rock it up, right? So that's kind of the thing there. And of course, this is over the next month or two. So obviously on the daily, we can see that we're on day number 17. Yeah, it's really getting some maturity now, day 17. So, maybe over the next 45 days, we could see it really burst out here. But I still think in the next day or two, it's still quite vulnerable in this channel. It's kind of the way I look at it. So yeah, it's just my opinion, of course, not investment advice. I don't have an almanac or whatever, but this is kind of me just making trying to do the best probability assessment I can, given the chart so far. Of course, further up the time there is so we've got the mark there of 10x from this high price here, approximately. It's not quite exactly that. Sorry, a 5x is 15,000. And then a 10x is about 30,000. That's actually lower. 10x is really like 33,000, but I'm trying to be a bit more conservative there with the 10x. So yeah, that's kind of further down the park as we were. So yeah, it's not to time scale there, but that's kind of the where we could head within the first 2 months, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll see how we go. For sure, a nice little retrace is quite healthy, and then we can build support from that afterwards, right? So that's the way I look at that. Now, obviously, the connections are to hit Hex, and man, I'm actually excited about what other projects, other developers will bring onto Hex as derivative. Now, they have to offer pretty much new features, new fundamentals for the market to say, yeah, this actually makes a lot of sense. Because obviously with Hedron, we get an airdrop. Hedron, you're going to be able to make new HSI stakes. You're going to be able to trade out of those. You're going to be able to sell them. You're able to borrow the Hedron against those stakes for all the days you haven't served. And of course, you're also going to be able to sell those in OpenSea, as I said earlier, but you're also going to be able to do, buy liquidated stakes. If people fail to liquidate, you're going to be able to use your Hedron to buy those stakes in an auction. If you win, you get another free Hex stake with your Hedron, which was probably free if you had minted it from your native stakes and hadn't bought it. So, there's lots of cool fundamentals there. And I think that if we get new derivatives like Hedron, we could get that too. So Hex might not be just a dual token. If you look at it, it might be a triple token or quad token or something like that. This could actually start a revolution that also locks Hex away, because obviously with Hedron, if you do a HSI stake with a 555, you're locking Hex away for 15 years, and that's not coming back on the market, right? So it does as a secondary product, but that typically is sold at a discount. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see that play out. So very, very nice. On top of it, of course, Hex, we've got the Hex Investment Trust coming along and other big bags coming in. It's very, very cool. All right, so that's kind of the connection. So now we can get back to the Hex with this. And of course, we're at a pretty pivotal moment though. So because we've had people swapping Hex to Hedron at this low volume point, and of course, trying to get the big X upside, and maybe they'll try and spin off some of that back into Hex later. Maybe they're sitting in USDC on that, waiting to see where the Hex price goes. So we could see a little bit of that coming back from Hedron. The other thing, of course, we've had, you get on top of, when those people sell, you get a few plebs. They sell as well at the same time. That's why the effects side are magnified a little bit. So you got that going on. So we have had OGs and both these big red candles do sell. We had one Hex OG that had about 120 million, went down to like 50 million, sold like 20 million. We had another one of those, I think, yesterday. And of course, that's what we've had to absorb there. Obviously, that's ruined our price. We would have been busting out of this resistance here, but instead we've fallen below the resistance. We've got one more day pretty much to get out of it. And of course, today is included. So 1 day and maybe 2 days to get out of this downward resistance here. So we need a nice little green candle within the next sort of 36 hours to bust out of here. Otherwise, we have lost that structure there, and we could even further go down, to the bottom of our defense range here, which is 9.6 cents. And then we're, 8 cents is in the play, right? So, but yesterday I said, we probably got about a 10, last 2 days, probably about a 10% probability of going down to 8 cents. Now I would say that's probably up at about 20% now. And of course, if we bust down below this 10.8 cents mark, you said that yesterday, then you're probably looking at a 30% probability going down to 8 cents. And of course, once you get down to 8 cents, you got to reassess your probabilities again, because maybe 6 cents, 3 cents is in play, right? So you know what I mean? And I don't want it to go down there, to be honest. I think that this is kind of the right level. If you go down to that price point, you do get a lot more people picking up Hex, and they get a lot more volume. But are they Hexkins? Do they have diamond hand culture, or are they speculators? And of course, they're going to dump it later, and so you've got the same issue, but you've just deferred it down the track a little bit. So that's the thing. See, if you've got Hexkins accumulating at cheap prices, which I know a lot of Hexkins do, then that's probably a good thing. But if you get a lot of speculators that don't have the Hexkin diamond hand culture, then they can impact the price later on, and particularly big speculators, right? Not just the small little speculators, but the big speculators. And so yeah, just a couple of pros and cons there to that. The other thing, of course, is this. I think psychologically it also impacts the chart. Once, of course, we get Pulsechain news, it's game over, right? All the stuff I'm talking about, it's going to mean nothing. We're going to get this big green candle. It's a no-brainer, right? Because once again, not investment advice, just my opinion. But of course, we've got Pulsechain coming. You got hundreds of thousands, potentially a million users going on this thing, the biggest airdrop in crypto history, etc. I'm going to talk more about that when we get to the Pulsechain. But very exciting at the moment. Of course, we're in that quiet spot, and it's kind of people are not used to that in crypto. We're not used to being in quiet spots. We like the action. We like to see even if we're Hexkins long-term state, we like to see the price do its thing, right? We like to see this price do its thing. The other thing, of course, we're only a couple of days away from the all-time high doubling. And let me just remove, shall I leave that? It looks like it's all right. We're only 3 days away from the 6-month doubling. We're going to miss that. We're going to blow past that because we have got to wait for Pulsechain now. So the psychosis now is that Hex is really tied to Pulsechain now. And of course, like Hedron, it's kind of tied to Hex, and Hex is kind of tied to Hedron. Hex is definitely tied to Pulsechain. The psychosis in the market is all attached to that, regardless of how amazing the Hex product is. It really is tied to that. Obviously, there's fundamental benefits in Pulsechain, like super fast, super cheap fees. That means staking, unstaking, staking ladders all benefit from it. And onboarding new people do, especially probably a backlog of people that would have otherwise staked but haven't because of the ETH prices on Ethereum, particularly through the bull market. And so that's definitely going to unleash a lot of that potential too, and make it easier to onboard people going forward, especially for the crypto Sparbook guys. Everybody out there that's doing the onboarding, it's going to make it a lot easier. But yeah, we've got a couple of days, and of course, when we're Pulsechain. Now, we've got positive stuff happening. We're going to talk about that soon on Pulsechain. I'm trying to keep that topic to later. This is just the Hex price, but at the moment, we're still, I think the probabilities for 8 cents is probably increased from 10% to 20% in my view. These are just my guesstimates. But as long as we don't break this 10.8 cent mark, and definitely the 9.6 to 10 cent mark, it's very important that we can bounce off this support here. So if we zoom out, you can see the long-term support, this orange bar here. As long as we sit around that, we'll be okay. And then we can bust up, and I don't care if we just slowly zigzag up, it's all good. And then, of course, when we get closer to Pulsechain and stuff like that, we'll have that. Now, obviously, in the next couple of days, maybe in the next few, day or two, we're expecting Pulsechain testnet 2.5 to come out. That's going to offer some momentum, but really Pulsechain testnet 3 will be the bigger deal, because that's the final dress rehearsal. The full AMM bot will be tested on there too, and that's the main game. And then, of course, then we're going to get to Pulsechain itself, but I'll talk more about that on the Pulsechain timeline. That's pretty exciting. So yeah, at the moment, okay. At the moment, I'm okay here at the moment, but of course, we don't really want to slip too much for the previous reasons I just said. So nice. Let's have a look at the DMI and I pull this up, and of course, we can see that DMI there is sellers are still just mulling around, but still in control of the momentum. The momentum is the orange there, and of course the sellers directions in red. As long as the momentum's over 25, they're still in control of the trend there. And of course, that's pretty clear. Obviously, the sellers here we did have a nice 2 zigzags up for the buyer's direction, but we've pulled back here as well. But it is on an uptrend. You can see that's on an uptrend going up there. And of course, you can see that uptrend. And I'll just copy that over too and paste that. Well, we've got one there, and let me just do another one here. That didn't copy very well, but hey, so we are still on an uptrend on the DMI for the sellers, and of course we want another zigzag up there. We want them to cross over the directions and a momentum to stay up over this 25, and of course that's what we're waiting to see. Haven't seen it yet, but it's certainly looking better. And of course the RSI here, plenty of room to move up to get up there. So let's see what happens. It's kind of like that at the moment. So cool. I know there's people waiting to buy at 8 cents and there's people waiting to buy at 6 cents. So let's see what happens. I want to particularly hold around this 10-cent mark at least, and then bounce off that. It's kind of where I want. Otherwise, you could see, you know how we've got 2 of these. If I pull up the chart here, we've got 2 of these parables here, parabolics. Then we could see a third one down, right? And of course, that would take us down here, but that could actually get quite low, like 6 cents, something like that. So I'm not really wanting to see that. Unlike some people, I really think it's good for the price to be able to hold up around here and move forward. Now, remember, over the last 365 days, we've had a 10x on Hex price. So that's what we've still got. Still got a 10x. That's positive, right? So I kind of think we will want to hold that. We've had to absorb Hex OG selling into that and speculators selling, but I think it's quite good to still be able to hold up a 10x after 365 days. And of course, it was, that's pretty good to see that. All right, cool. That's kind of that at the stage. I've got the Pulsechain launch at about 15th of April still. Nothing really changed there. Let me make sure I've seen that. So cool. So that's the Hex price, then the Hedron review. And of course, the markets at the moment holding up pretty nicely. I'm pretty happy with this. 39,000 BTC, 4,500 ETH. This has been pretty consistent for a few days now. And obviously, after had that big pump with the Ukrainian accepting cryptocurrency, stuff like that. And the rest of the markets are holding up at this stage with the, minor pullbacks in the stocks this week. I mean, people are saying that's, decent pullbacks. They're actually kind of minor. As long as the Dow's over, 32,000 or thereabouts, that's still holding up fairly well. So at the day that the Dow goes under 30,000, that's a big worry, folks. I'd be worried about that. And yeah, so let's see how we go. All right, cool. Let us jump over to the next topic. It's going to be the main topic, Pulsechain. Bum, 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 bum. But first, we're going to get to the comments in the chat. Let's go to that. Man, oh man, is that far down? James Strafford says, oh my days, woohoo. Hey James, nice one. How I Made It says, support the Hex community instead of ripping it apart, says How I Made It. That's absolutely true. How I Made It. I'm not sure who you're talking to there, How I Made It, but that's all we do on this channel. James Stratford says, I'm actually awake for the live streams. UK here. Hey, James, that's amazing. And of course, Benny Blanco says, I added another 680 T-shares today. Woohoo! We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Awesome stuff, man. Today, I've been saving up for a while. Hedron helped a bit. I've been saving up for a while. Hedron helped a bit. Stacked up those shares while they are cheap. Man, that's so smart. So we also saw, so Benny's making a really good point, is that if you've, quite a few people have got the Hedron. I know that Randy Hilarski, who's I'm a big fan of, also sold the Hedron and bought T-shares. And there's a few other people I know that have done that, and it looks like Benny's done that too, taking the Hedron, buying the T-shares, or getting the T-shares, the Hex while you can, and getting that staked up. Sometimes they rotate that, so if you get the Hedron, you sell it for T-shares, and then you stake those. You obviously got them staked, and then you can claim against those in days served. You could also borrow against them, but that's different risk profile. So very, very cool. Nice one there, Benny. While they are cheap, semi-cheap, a crucial time right now. Trustless interest wins. Absolutely, Benny. Nice one. And then those shares will add more Hedron. Let's go. Absolutely. So you're going to get paid Hedron every day as you serve more days in those new stakes. So very, very cool. Benny says, get a set up before the fork. Trust me. Absolutely, Benny. And of course, if you're staking all those T-shares that you got from selling Hedron, that's one strategy you can do, a very popular one. Then, of course, you're going to get a copy on the Pulsechain. Whoop, 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 whoop. And remember what Overwatch said? Overwatch talking about, $1.20 on both chains. Man, oh man. So that's even bigger than what he had. That's within 2 years, of course. But of course, we're pretty bullish that it could do even better. It's got to be, reasonably balanced in that view. So nice. What else we got? Go. How I'm at, cheers, mate. And of course, how I'm at it said that Hex wallet hacker still have over 50 million Hex. He's dumping still, I think, says how I'm at it. Right. Okay. Good point there. And you still got the 50 mil. Once you get rid of him, it's better we get rid of him cheap than expensive, right? So even if it impacts the price there. Radio Shaw says, hey, what do you think about Hedron price? So I just talked about that. So good. I'm trying to catch up on my own chart. So I'm 20 minutes behind in the chat here. So I do apologize. Let's get there. Sandy Beach says, hello, everyone from North Coast. Woohoo, just popping in to say hello. Early day tomorrow. Have a great stream. I'll be a replay gang. Hey, Sandy Beach. Nice one. Good to see you in the channel. And what else we got going? Let's jump through a few of these. Benny Blanco says, spot on. Hex and Hedron, Batman and Robin CD and Bond double win. Absolutely, Benny. And then all copies. That's right. So if you're holding Hedron, holding Hex, you're going to get a copy of that on the Pulsechain. I mean, wow. Where can you do that, folks? No other crypto's got Pulsechain coming and PulseX. So, this is just crazy good, man. And all these derivative products really just going to add value to you as a Hex staker. That's really, really cool. John Kilner says, woohoo, Hex to the moon. Absolutely. Mark Hayes says, what's your long-term price? Says Mark Hayes. Hey, yeah. My price, my price was $1.30. And of course, that seems to be pretty similar to the Overwatch. But what's long-term, right? Long-term, we could see Hex in the tens of dollars or higher, right? Some people have hundreds of dollars, but that's down the tracks, further down the track. Definitely, I could see Hex in the $10 once we get that virality in there, mass adoption, and of course, a lot more big institutions and stuff like that through the Hex Investment Trust. Billionaires, of course, all that sort of stuff will get us to that higher price. Hex becomes very scarce very quickly, even though there's quite a lot, 638 billion. Most of that's in the Origin account. We based on Gunther the accountant's estimates, we have about 13. What's it? 13? Yeah, I think it was 13.5 billion in public hands, liquid. If we've got 62 billion staked, we take 10% off for the Origin account. Then we've got maybe 54 billion staked by public investors. That's the non-Origin people like you and I. And then of course about 30.5 billion liquid. And quite a bit of that would probably be in some of the bigger wallets. Maybe 3 Arrows or something like that. The Overwatch, a few other Hex Skywell, stuff like that. They've probably got stuff in there. So that this breaks down to like that. So once we get more people in from all those different types, then of course that Hex, that 13.5 billion, starts to spread out pretty fast. And of course, a lot of that Hex is actually going to be not liquid. Inactive is the phrase I'm wanting to use, because a lot of that liquid people aren't, they'll be with Hex skins. They may just keep it there. Maybe they're selling a little bit. But of course, it's only the people with the propensity to sell are lower. But that is conditional on the price. As the price goes up to the right, you'll get more of that becoming active Hex and sold. But of course, if we've got more buyers coming in, stuff like that, as we are growing, we're growing all the time. I do it cover every single day, growing by hundreds of wallets a day, and stakers as well. Then that's all going to be eaten up, isn't it? So we just got to be patient over time, right? The long game, and of course that's what the Hex got well turned in $3,500 into $400 million by just playing the long game. So that's what I mean. It's kind of like that. Benny says time in the market, not timing the market. That's perfect. I did some aping myself, but it's best to DCA dollar cost average. Don't follow my lead, lol. Hey, Gen X is in the house. Say our latest content creator. Woohoo, says Gen X. Very, very nice. That brings me up to the Gen X. I'm going to pull that forward, actually. Here is the Hex Token channel. This is the channels tab. So check the channels tab, and Gen X is there right now. So Gen X has 40 subscribers, done his first intro video. This is Craig Whiting, of course. He has been a guest on Hex is the Way. And of course, they are really two new channels just growing and flourishing. So do go and subscribe. Hex is the Way. And of course, Gen X, go and subscribe to them if you haven't already. Spread the word, because they're doing really good content. So Hex is the Way is doing good how-to sort of entry-level stuff for Hex, Pulsechain and stuff like that, but also focused on the Asian community, in particular, South Korea. So definitely join up to Hex is the Way. He's got 749 subs. Let's see if we can get him closer to 1,000. Of course, that's the magical number. And of course, Gen Hex there just opened up the last couple of days, 40 subscribers. Let's see if we can get Gen Hex up to, say, let's 100 subscribers. So do go and subscribe. It doesn't take much of an effort. just check the channels tab and go subscribe on there. Gen X or Craig Wadding will be doing some really cool content coming up. And of course, it's going to be a fresh perspective from another person and just an expansion of all the content creators in Hex, Pulsechain, and Pulsex. So it's really, really cool. This is how we get to virality, mass adoption, and of course, start to impact the YouTube algorithms even more. So big shout out to both of them. Very cool. All right, so nice on that. Let us jump over to the Pulsechain. We're going to get into this shortly. Let me just get into a couple of comments here. Nicholas says, are you doing an Axion stream today later on? Not today, but maybe tomorrow then, Nicholas. Benny Blanco says, trustless interest, nothing else can claim that. Remember how special it is. So very, very cool. And which coin do you believe will reach a dollar first, P-Hex or Hex? Probably P-Hex, Nicholas, is going to be the case. I've kind of got a 60-40 on that. Nicholas says, will we be able to use Hex on liquid loans system or Pulse tokens? Also use Hex on liquid loan system or Pulse tokens. Pulse tokens, Nicholas. PLS is what's going to be used to collateralize on liquid loans. Elel says, woohoo! Hey, Elel, nice one. And Nicholas says, Hex is around 11 cents, is an absolute bargain. Absolutely, Nicholas, I believe so. I think it's really kind of consolidated after a year over 10x. And of course, I think it's kind of important it stays around there. Hey, but the market will do what the market's going to do. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But so far, so good. Is the way I'd put that. And Nicholas says selling Hex at this price is absurd. It is, because you're going to need a copy on the Pulsechain, folks. Selling Hex is pretty absurd. And of course, it's kind of that quiet period as well. Benny says, you ain't lying. I was waiting for that earlier today, says Nicholas. Nice. Let me jump through some of these. Let me jump through. What else? We got Pulse Visionary is in the house. When 2.5? Well, we're probably expecting Pulsechain 2.5 in the next day or two, to be honest. That's the testnet, Pulsechain testnet 2.5. Yeah, smash that subscribe, hit the like button, folks. Really is a pleasure to have you all here. And of course, I enjoy it a lot talking about these awesome products that Richard Hart has built. This channel is a Richard Hart Maxi channel, but we do talk about the projects that are going on to Pulsechain that are relevant. I won't be talking about crappy projects, but anything that I think adds value, is a good market fit, that adds good products on the Pulsechain. I'm more than happy to talk about those and have an open mind, because I think they add value to Pulsechain, and of course, ultimately to those of us who are holding Pulse, Pulsex, and Hex, of course. Nice one with the hearts there. What else we got? Tin Top's in the house. What's up, Mexicans? Hey, Tin Top. Very, very cool. And just jumping through some of these comments, folks, just to catch up. So let me get J Pon's in the house. Hello, all. Hey, J Pon. Nice. What else? We got Mark Hayes in the house. What's your long-term price on Hex and Hedron? So yeah, I've just said that earlier, Mark, so you might want to rewind on that. How are we up to? Almost up to date there, about 10 minutes up behind still. Woohoo, says Blenny. Nice. What else we got going? Just Chum House there. So Brazology's in the house. YouTube needs to whitelist Richard Hart from auto bans. I agree with you, Brazology. Now, we've done our best to get onto Twitter and talk to a YouTube creator on Twitter to try and get Richard Hart's channel back. Man, oh man. It's just crazy stuff they do there. Slam the like, Hex family, says Pulse Visionary. Absolutely. And Benny Blanco says Overwatch is the man, and he is watching over the community. He is, man. He is. Now, Overwatch is just an awesome whale. He's obviously gone from, a really hard life living on the streets and all those challenges to becoming extremely wealthy. But not did he just become wealthy, but he's thinks about other people. And that means he's got a big heart, and he takes his life lessons that he's learned and his overcoming those to actually become stronger, not just for himself, but for people around him. And even though people aren't perfect, he shows that he really shows a lot of love to them as well. So I think that's really, really nice. So a big shout out to Rack and Rochelle Overwatch, and what an awesome whale to be in the community. He's operated his portfolio in Hex really well, and I no doubt he's going to operate in Pulsechain and Pulsex really well too. The other thing, of course, is that the top wallet in Pulsechain is his wallet. I think it's his one, and of course, definitely is in Pulsex. And of course, that's not the only wallets they have, folks. They've sacrificed wallets. Other wallets in the list there are also Overwatch wallets. I don't know what they are, but they're definitely in there. And of course, this is based on his own comment on Twitter in the last couple of days. He said that, you think that the leading wallet's the only wallet that sacrifice for Overwatch. So yeah, man, oh man, oh man. The other thing, of course, he's got associates that also look like they've sacrificed for these two, and of course they often follow each other. And man, oh man, oh man, that's pretty exciting to see that. So I think we're in pretty good hands, folks. We're just going to bide this time at the moment. Nice. James 6 says, RH stole your money, idiots. Hey, James, that's not cool, man. I don't know why. James. I hope someone banned James. Let me just go over here. I'm not even sure where that is up there. Hello, Francia. Just trying to find the comment here. Man, oh man, so many comments. Let me just get up here. Where is this guy? I'll jump away from there and let me just get him in here. Maybe some of the where is this guy? Yeah, if you're a moderator, if you can see James Sid's comment, if you could delete that, please. Thanks. Can't see it myself. OBX says RH can have all my money. Says OBX. Yeah. Craig Weddings in the house with the emojis. Good to see Craig. Big shout out. And of course, g'day Superman. Hexkin says Brennan. Hey Brennan, it's great to see you. And Craig Weddings says for wow, 40 subs. Yeah, you were 32 yesterday, I think. Now 40. Let's see if we can get you to 100 subs. Like I say, get over there and subscribe to Gen X. He's going to come out with really cool content. And, of course, Hex is the way as well. He's doing a great job as well. You may have seen Craig Whiting, who's on Gen X on Hex is the way as a special guest now and then. So let's help get these channels up over to that 1,000 sub mark. It's really important. So we'll try and get them there as best we can. All right, very, very cool. Now, what else we got? Hopefully, we'll have 2 more vids done this week, says Craig. So that's pretty perfect. So Gen X there, 2 videos coming out. Good vibes as well. Yeah. William Davis says, why would people that don't own Pulsechains use them? Attractive staking. We're going to talk about that now, William, because we've got a lot. We're going to talk about Pulsechain. Very, very cool. Just want to get through some of these the questions here. Woo-hoo-hoo. Just got in, says hot old generation. Hey, good to see you. And Charles Carroll says, what is the truth? Funding Jim or Rackham? I wouldn't even worry about that, Charles. I don't think it's really important. And I'm not sure if it was the best approach to talk about that in public. But hey, that's I wouldn't. It's not worth talking about, to be honest. Francescina says, got the big hearts out. Hello. Good to see you. And Tin Top says, hey, Francescina, nice. Benny's in house too. Both top wallets are his. Yes, says Benny. And hi. Thanks for that, Benny. Appreciate that. Craig Wellington says, Gwei is 15 and Hex is on sale. Man. 15 Gwei on Ethereum. Isn't that unbelievable? So yeah, pick up that Hex. And of course, if you want to do unstakes, it's the best time to do it when the Gwei is really low, because the S-load function loops through every day to calculate your returns before it unstakes itself. So take that into account. We are lucky to have Godwell and Rackham. Very lucky gang. Absolutely, Benny. Some hater had to ruin the vibe, Smith. Yeah, that's right. Brazil, I don't see his comment here. I can't see it either. Me neither. Says Pulse. All right, nice one. Hexforce says, good evening, Hex Token. Hey, you're most welcome. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Hey, good to see Hexforce in the house. Found him, says Craig. Nice one, Craig. And yay, says Pulse Visionary. Yay. And Tim Dot says, might sell Hedron for Hex at 8 cents. And of course, Pulse says, I'm thinking that too, says Pulse Visionary. Hey, there we are, folks. Very, very cool. Let's get on to Pulsechain. Now, Pulsechain, I've got here, Pulsechain is a game changer. It is, folks. While we're in the quiet space waiting for it to all to come to fruition, man, Pulsechain is a game changer. So what's going to happen is that, of course, we've got a few things here. Ethereum fees will be lower by sharing its load. So obviously Ethereum's going to be running and, of course, taking some of that load, because Pulsechain is going to be the first system state copy of Ethereum. The big first system state. That means everything on Ethereum copied over, for the most part, over to Pulsechain. It's going to be amazing, folks. Amazing. And, of course, on top of that, of course, it's going to be way cheaper. So let's just go through some of these goals just to refresh ourselves. It's going to enrich ETH users. Pulsechain will re-enable priced out use cases. And I always raise this, because a lot of people forget that a lot of the stuff that was priced out on Ethereum because of the high gas fees, or at least hamstrung, held back from growth, are going to be unleashed here on Pulsechain. And that means a lot of projects will come over, a lot of software programmers, a lot of CEOs that are of running projects over there can come to Pulsechain and flourish. So really, really is great. Instead of launching empty, Pulsechain brings the ETH system state in ERC20s. This rewards holders and founders of Ethereum-based projects. So super powerful. enriched ERC20 and NFT users. Obviously, NFTs too coming over. Of course, airdrops. The launch of Pulsechain is the largest airdrop in history. Thousands of Ethereum-based tokens and NFTs received their free Pulsechain versions. The new gold rush, and that's really what it is. It's kind of, you try to get your head around what's happening. All the PRC20s, all the 1155, all the contracts coming over. Really is a game changer. And a gold rush, of course, contains the value discovery of thousands of tokens as well. And this, let's talk about this. So not only is the biggest airdrop, ERC20s coming over as PRC20s, but of course, price discovery, man. Price discovery. Oh my gosh. Look at the price discovery we had on Hedron. Look at Hedron's price discovery. And let me just hide all the stuff here. Look at Hedron's price discovery. Look at this thing, man. That was a 12x price discovery. Obviously, it's pulling down, and over time, we're expecting it to, go up over time. But man, oh man, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about this, but thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of potentially pulls and stuff like that. It's going to be insane. So at least 6,000 above, at least pairs price discovery. It's going to be insane, man. Can you believe it? Is it insane? It's not just one project launching with one pair. You got over 6,000 plus. It could be in the tens of thousands actually. And of course, it's mad. And of course, all that value tradable on PulseX, potentially funding through PulseX, pumping PulseX, all of those pairs. It is mind blowing. And of course, it's why I wanted to come back today and just to layer back into Pulsechain and what it is about. Because it really is amazing. And NFTs on the Pulsechain. Now, we often talk about the ERC20s, but we don't talk about NFTs as much. Of course, those contracts coming over as well. And of course, they're going to need a marketplace. Obviously, Gerardo has seen that with his software team that he's joined up with, of course, doing Mintra. The PowerCity have seen this, of course. And one of their main products is an NFT marketplace. So this is what I mean. It's one of the very big parts of the blockchain with the smart contracts. And of course, man, the value in it is insane, right? We saw the NFT boom on Ethereum just smash those ETH prices up. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. If you always wanted to be a whale in a certain ERC20 or NFT, maybe you can be now. Very cool. Obviously, it's going to be easy to use. Your MetaMask wallet just works. You only have to change a single setting to access Pulsechain. ETH holders can transact for free with freemium Pulse. Now, the thing, of course, is that the MetaMask wallet, obviously, Rich wants to do one. We see that Internet Money, that's their whole sacrifice is about doing a wallet for Pulsechain and, of course, sharing the fees. So that's also in the play. And, of course, you can see the opportunities here. And within the community, trying to respond to these big markets that are there, because it's going to be awesome for all of us. So if you're holding any of these tokens, you're going to benefit from all this economic activity on top of it. So nice. Lower Pulsechain fees and serve more users. Pulsechain increases the throughput of Ethereum 4x by 3-second block times. Ethereum average block time is around 13 seconds. Now, obviously, on top of this, we could actually have not just 4x, but 200 times faster as well as in the play. So it could be really a game changer there. Remove pollution by replacing proof of work miners with proof of stake validators. Pulsechain doesn't waste any energy, making it environmentally friendly. So obviously, Ethereum's trying to do that now. So in December 2020, it started staking with 32 Ethereum. And of course, that actually locked a lot of that stuff in. And what have we got there? We've got now that fact that they're trying to move probably in the next few months to docking, and therefore move at the moment they're a hybrid between proof of work, where you got miners confirming the blockchain, taking up a lot of energy, and of course the stake, which is just mathematically working based on your Ethereum stake. And of course that's super low energy, cheap, and of course like what Hex has got. And then of course what they're looking at possibly they're obviously on the testnet now for Ethereum, but obviously doing maybe making it go live somewhere in July, August, maybe somewhere around that time. And of course, full docking, moving Ethereum from that hybrid to a full proof of stake, just like Hex has got. And of course, what Pulsechain has already got into it, right? So even though Pulsechain is a system state copy of Ethereum, it's adding on top of that the validators. And of course, we've seen that working on Pulsechain testnet too, and it's been working really well. Little bugs that were picked up, like validators offline and stuff like that, it's all been picked up and enhanced. Very cool. So looking good there, folks. And of course, going to be environmentally friendly. Improved game theory. PLS has 0% inflation. And of course, validators only earn fees, and 25% of the fees are burnt to reduce circulating supply. And this is magic, right? This is magic. Obviously, also with the system state copy, we've got EI 1559. So we've got EIP 1559. So we've got all those benefits that are in the Ethereum there with the burning. So it's going to be interesting to see how those features are used on Pulsechain as well. But in any case, Pulse itself, the total amount of Pulse was given out during the Pulsechain sacrifice that started on 15th of July last year. And of course, that's only going to go down with the 0.25% fee burn. So it's just going to, every single transaction that goes on there. And of course, we know that Ethereum has about 1.3 million transactions per day. We know that Polygon has about 4 million transactions per day. Binance Smart Chain was having about 6 million a day. And of course, I think we're going to get way higher than that, folks, on Pulsechain in a very fast time. Obviously, it takes time for it to ramp up. But I think it's going to be very fast. Because we've got the biggest airdrop in crypto history, we've got the biggest yield farm in crypto history, and much more behind it. Once we open up that bridge, we're going to have the fastest way to mass adoption. So I can see that the transactions per day are going to be up through the roof. And of course, I think we could actually see that actually spur quite a lot of pressure onto the, like we're talking about super cheap, but I could actually see the price of Pulse actually being quite rocketing up there. Because remember, people with the sacrifice are the only ones that got those tokens. And we know that also demand was so high that after the 3rd of August, when the official period finished, we had a mercy period, and people were sacrificing all the way through until the point where it's got to like 1 Pulse per dollar. We've seen people doing stuff like that. It was pretty insane. So I think hopefully people will stop doing that now, but that's what they were doing. The other thing, of course, is that people were sacrificing in PulseX because they missed out on Pulsechain. The demand was so high that obviously we did about maybe 750 million on Pulsechain, and we did about a 1.1 billion close to on PulseX. So you see a lot of bigger. It was even bigger. So that's probably not too far away from 2 billion, maybe about 1.9 billion, just under that, 1.85 $1 billion. So pretty crazy stuff there. And of course, maybe about 5.3 billion Hex was sacrificed to getting Hex off the market, which was a beautiful thing. And now we're down to about 13.5 billion based on Gunther the accountant's amount. So that that ends up being about 2% of the total supply of 638 billion Hex. So pretty amazing, right? And that's where we want to go, lower. As soon as we just get all those people onboarding, including the big institutions, man, there's not a lot of Hex around. And this is when your dreams come true. This is when the big prices come true. But we have to be patient, like we're being patient now for Pulsechain. We have to be patient for the Hex price to move as well. But of course, the Hex is going to benefit directly from Pulsechain and PulseX, because all this whole system set up, the system state copy, are set up to pump Richard Hart's bags on the coins there. Not Richard Hart's bags, but Richard Hart's coins, I should say. Pulsechain's getting it pumped, PulseX, Hex, of course, going to be awesome. And a lot of these other projects going on top are also going to benefit as we talk about liquid loans, loan token, and many of these other projects that we talk about. So it's going to be pretty exciting, folks, to see this play out. So really, really cool. This total amount of supply from Pulsechain, this total amount of supply from PulseX Sacrifice is only going down over time. And of course, PulseX itself, in my view, has got even better tokenomics because it's got the magical buy and burn and staking with that. So pretty awesome. But we're not talking about PulseX as such today, but that is huge as well. Now, there's a difference between PulseX and Pulsechain from the big boys. So big whales point of view, Pulsechain is like the Ethereum chain. People know the big returns on Ethereum. And of course, a lot of the bigger accounts will be buying Pulsechain. It's a lot more easier, a lot more an easier sell to sell investing in Pulsechain. So that's why we've got venture capitalists doing it and things like that doing it. But institutions have got a more conservative profile, and of course, investment vehicles like the Hex Investment Trust allow that to happen, right? So it's pretty powerful. So I'm very excited, folks. Really is over the moon. And of course, I think that a lot of the institutions will find Pulsechain easy to invest in, but people with a slightly higher risk return, like venture capitalists, like Overwatch, will find PulseX amazing because of the fact that everything, Pulse will be relatively cheap to start with, but PulseX would be relatively expensive. After people do the ratio trades, people that missed out on Pulse will want to get at Pulse and trade their PulseX. We could see a bit of switch in the ratio, but as soon as the US dollar bridge opens up a day or two later, we could see the value of PulseX absolutely soar, because every single trade that's happening on every single pair, and like I say, there could be well in excess of 6,000 pairs. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to structure that, but that theoretically over that many could be huge. And of course, we're going to be getting a 0.06% of that in a magical buy and burn. And how that profile happens is going to be interesting too. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Of course, $1 billion of trade, $600,000 of burn. And of course, if we do $2 billion, it's 1.2 million. And that's regardless of people buying and selling. It's just, oh my gosh, it just makes me, every single other project on the planet was almost designed to pump PulseX. And of course, indirectly, that's going to pump Pulse, right? Because there's a 0.2% fee on every transaction. So, see what I mean? It's insane. Just be patient, be cool. If anything, accumulate. That's the way it goes. Of course, Hex, everything Hex you're going to get is going to get copied on the Pulsechain. Everything of Hedron that you've got is going to get copied on the Pulsechain. And of course, you want to stick with the high probability Richard Heart projects. And then maybe if you like a little bit of action, a little bit of speculation, we're talking about the sacrifice projects, these ones that are going on top of Pulsechain. You can take a little bit of a stab at that, like I do. I do that too. So very cool. They're looking good. Now, empower Pulsechain holders. Pulsechain's native token PLS can be staked and delegated to validators that reward the delegators with the largest percentage of fees. Very, very cool. Now, there is a limit. There is a minimum amount to stake with the validators. I think it was 0.01% or something like that. So just take that into account. But once again, there is alternatives like liquid loans where you can, collateralize PLS and never have to sell it. And of course, be able to accumulate stuff up. There's lots of different strategies on liquid loans for that. Very, very cool. We can't wait for the bridge, of course. When the bridge opens up, man, oh man, oh man, this is the power. Huh? This is the key. This is the magic. This is the magic. All right. So we've got the interoperability bridging. ETH can be traded on Pulse network and PLS can be traded on the Ethereum network. Bridging can also be done to other smart contract capable networks. And this is what we're also seeing with the PowerCity. Not only are they doing NFT marketplaces, but looking at cross-chain bridges as well. And of course, we're going to get lots of third-party dApps going to come on Pulsechain. If you're worried about, are we going to have enough bridges? Do not worry. Market's going to come because it's just the biggest thing in crypto, especially when they see that, Pulse and PulseX pump, Hex pump, and of course, all the other projects thrive as well. It's not just about the Richard Heart tokens. All the other projects will be able to thrive because it's super cheap, super fast. And man, oh man, it's going to be a lot of fun. At least for many, many years to come before you have to sort of fork the blockchain or find a new technology to be able to scale it, just as Ethereum's trying to do with sharding, trying to get that TPS up to from 12 transactions per second at max kind of thing. I think the theoretical is 25. And then, of course, trying to get up to, as Vitalik's posted in the past, up to 100,000. I think he's probably more pragmatic about getting just a couple of thousand transactions per second up to speed. But, that's a multi-year project. So this stocking that's coming up in June, July, August is unlikely to do that. And even sharding may not have the full impact on price of ETH either. In terms of transaction, but I probably will have pull the price down to some degree, which is good because that will also make Hex unstaking cheaper on the ETH chain as well. And yeah, looking pretty good. All right, so nice there. So ETH on Pulsechain, you can send ETH to the Pulsechain bridge contract on ETH, which locks it and issues PHEX or PETH, I should say. Pulse ETH on the Pulsechain at a 1-to-1 ratio. Pulse on Ethereum, you can send Pulse to the ETH bridge contract on Pulsechain, which locks it and issues ePulse. ETH Pulse and on the Ethereum block network 1-to-1. This can also work for ERC20. So what this is going to mean is that people can bridge over between ETH and Pulsechain. And of course, all the people on ETH can come over and get their airdrop. Everything they own on Ethereum is going to be over on Pulsechain. So it's like the biggest airdrop in crypto history. It really is a game changer. And being able to bridge over that, they can then bring over the ERC20s. So over with the PRC20s, put those in pools and earn even more money. You see what I mean? It's crazy, crazy good. And of course, they're going to want to get Pulse and PulseX. So all the limited amount of Pulse and PulseX that's in our hands, your hands, my hands, are going to be, there's all these other people coming over on the ETH chain that are going to want it over the bridge. They're going to want your Pulse. They're going to want your PulseX. Not only that, but all the other blockchains with all the yield farmers coming in for PulseX are going to want your Pulse. They're going to want your PulseX. So are you going to have diamond hands? Or are you going to sell it for a couple X's? Let's see what happens. But I'm pretty bullish on the price here. Very, very cool. All right, nice. Of course, there's going to be the trading, of course. We talked about that. It's going to be pretty cool. And that's probably the headline there stuff. Let's jump over to GitLab. We can see that we're waiting for the Pulsechain testnet 2.5 to come out on the updates. We've had a few little updates. We had this Pulsechain dev updates folder added 5 days ago. That was new. And we've had some little updates in Gold Pulse, but we're waiting for Pulsechain testnet 2.5 to come out. So looking good for that. We'll talk more about that with the timeline. That's coming pretty short. Of course, Pulsechain testnet 2 is running. And of course, it's been running for 93 days. 93 days. Pulsechain testnet was 77 days. Pulsechain testnet 2, 93 days, over 3 months. But man, oh man, did it deliver. It took a bit longer than some of us might have liked, but it has delivered in terms of testing the products. So we've got all the minimum viable products on there that are required for the launch, including the additional code for the validating. And of course, the bugs have been tested out on that too. Now, of course, this is as best as you can do with these kind of testings. Ultimately, you have to go live with the contract to get the volume through, because obviously when the volume comes, when that bridge opens up, when the fiat gateway as well, we haven't talked about that, when the fiat gateway opens up, it's insane in the membrane. Man, oh man, it's going to be so awesome. So this is testing. Of course, we're waiting for 2.5. At the moment, this is scan.v2. Of course, we're waiting for 2.5 or 2b. There's another way people talk about it, as Richard said. So nice. So that's coming up there. That should be in the next day or two, in my opinion, from when Richard said. Richard said would like kind of in the next week. And I think we're just about, we're halfway or so. Should be in the next day or two is my guess. All right, so this is the end game, of course. The first system state copy. Everything that we read about here, is really summarized in this picture. Everything on the ETH chain here is going to get copied over. First system state copy of Ethereum onto here. Now, a lot of people have just copied Ethereum, but not all the contracts. Obviously, we're getting everything over there, and it's going to be crazy. Not only that, but chains like Binance Smart Chain, they didn't copy. They were like 18 months behind the code, so they just took an earlier version. We've got all the latest and greatest stuff in there, including EIP 1559. And that's got all the extra functionality that is allowing burning on Ethereum and stuff like that. So we've got all that good stuff in here too. And I thought that was a really good insight to do that. Man, oh man. So we've got all the cool functionality and all the system state copies of contracts. Very, very cool. You can see we're going to have PRC20s. That is the ERC20s airdrop. We're going to have Pulse, of course, which is equivalent to ETH for fees. So you're going to need to pay Pulse for fees. You're going to need Pulse if you want to do transactions on Pulsechain. And of course, Hex on Ethereum, which is the current product of Richard Hart, 2.4 years in the making. It's been going there. And of course, entering 2022, 2023, the years of mass adoption. Very, very cool. And of course, that's going to be copied on the blockchain as well. So everything you've got, Hex, and of course, if you include an Hedron as well, that's going to get copied over to the blockchain. Very, very nice. And then, of course, we've got Pulse Hex and Incentive Token and a Uniswap version 2, which is up and running on the testnet. So that's going good too. This is going to be the biggest yield farming in crypto history. Like I say, everyone on Ethereum is going to come over, all the yield farmers. But better than that, folks, yield farming is on so many blocks now. They're all going to come over in hundreds of thousands to come and yield farm on Pulse Hex. That's going to be pretty cool. They're going to be wanting to buy Pulse Hex. They're going to be wanting to get Pulse. It's a game changer. So very, very nice. And of course, all the millions of people that have got the ERC20 copies are going to come over to collect their PRC20 copies. It's going to be like as a wheat field, as I always say it. Burning a wheat field is going to burn so fast through this wheat field as soon as you light it. As soon as people hear about it, you'll be telling, hey, guess what? You got an airdrop. It's worth this much. Hey, you got it. Really? I'm coming over. And hey, everything's the same as Ethereum, but you own the keys to your coins as well. You don't have to go onto a Polygon or anything else like that, taking on those added risks. And of course, it's going to be pretty much the same thing, but the way Ethereum should be. And of course, why people are going to leave, right? People are going to leave. Now, very, very cool. And then, of course, Pulsechain is our network. So super fast, super cheap. Now, obviously, when the bridge opens up, that's when we're going to get the big mass adoption. And the fiat gateway is also going to be awesome because it's going to allow you to do maybe 1 or 2 steps on and off, taking money in and taking money off the network there, rather than going through the bridge and out through Ethereum, and then, of course, having 7 or 8 steps. So 1 or 2 steps versus 7 or 8 steps is going to be pretty awesome. And then, of course, of that, we've got liquid loans, which is going to be allowed to do lending. So with the ultimate product in Hex is savings, ultimate product in lending as liquid loans, being able to never sell your Pulse as well, taking Pulse off the market and actually enabling people to get USDL and buying more Pulse is one of the main strategies we're expecting there. So that's going to pump Pulse Hex and Hex as well, on top of the magical buy and burn and Pulse Hex and the fee burn and Pulse. Oh my gosh, it's just insane. Is it insane? Step back, just relax, calm down. It is insane. Now, I watched a video the other day of, was it K4K, laughing every time he talks about this. But can you see why he laughs? Because it's kind of insane, right? That the whole thing's insane. Crypto's never seen anything like this, folks. It's never seen anything like this. This is mind-blowing. And that's why I say, Pulsechain is a game changer. It is out of this world. It is going to be crazy. We're in this like quiet spot right now. It is an accumulation phase of anything, but it is insane. Look at what we've just had delivered. The Hedron project by Alex. And look how good that is. That is so good. And of course, obviously, there's a little short-term impact in terms of the price on Hex because Hedron's finding its price discovery. But once it settles down a bit, things will settle down as well on Hex. Once we get that buy on back as well, Hex is the main game. Remember, Hedron is a derivative of Hex, so you got to take that in context. It adds new features, as I say, borrowing HSI stakes, NFT stakes to Hex. It adds value. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, folks. Man, oh man, it just makes me crazy. I can't wait to see this. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when this actually launches? But what are we going to do? We're going to be insane. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to have a bottle of champagne or something because it's just going to be absolutely off this world. Anyway, I'm just so stoked about this. The more I think about it, the better and better it gets. And it's going to be interesting. And I said, not that I want it to be, but if anything was an Ethereum killer, this is the closest thing you've ever seen in crypto. And of course, I hope that they obviously complement each other. There's value in both chains, but I really think that the Pulsechain is so superior on every account that you're going to see it actually take huge market shares. The best way of putting it, right? Best way of putting it. And it's going to take a lot of the market off guard, including all the big CNBCs and all that don't really know anything that's going on in crypto, really. But they pretend they do. They do a Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up today. Bitcoin, it's about as far as they get almost. So yeah. DeFi, I don't know what DeFi is, but I'm going to say DeFi, it's kind of like that, right? So, but we're the ones that live and breathe the stuff. We know all the stuff. We do the research, and of course, we're in the golden products. Richard's Arts products are the golden products in crypto. They are the game-changing DeFi. They're revolutionary finance, and it's very exciting to see that. And of course, it's still early in adoption phase. Every time we have a bull market in crypto, we get more and more people coming into from the traditional finance world. Traditional, layperson's world, as it were, and into crypto. More and more get adopted. So very exciting. All right, cool on that. I think that's pretty nice. And of course, we're going to jump over to the Pulsechain timeline. Woo-hoo-hoo! Look at this, baby. Yeah. All right, so exclusive to this channel, Hex Token timeline. I love these timelines. I like to have everything in one place just to keep track of it. And I hope that it helps you as well. And obviously, I've talked about quite a few of these things. We've got the minimum viable product here on Pulsechain testnet 2. 93 days in the making at the moment. And of course, we've got the go.hex, that's for Hex for staking on Pulsechain. We've got Uniswap front end, of course, to two swaps there. We've got Pulsex, of course, which is basically done. We've got the bridge as well, is in there. We've played around with a lot of these features here on this channel, obviously excluding Pulsex. You can see videos, let's play video and stuff like that. You can search on this channel for that. Of course, that's what we've got there. And on top, the most important thing, I guess, is the validators. We've also checked that as well. So very, very exciting stuff there with the validators. And of course, we've currently got 33 testing on Pulsechain at the moment. So obviously, we're waiting here for the end. When's the question? We've got a question mark there, the end of Pulsechain testnet 2 and the beginning of Pulsechain testnet 2.5 or 2B. We're waiting for that to start there. I've got it running for 2 weeks. I could reasonably see that going for 3 weeks. But let's say 2 weeks. What we're getting on there, we're going to get the updated balances for Pulsechain and Pulsex. Obviously, everyone's excited to see that. And of course, we're also going to get the half of the AMM bot run. So basically, version 2 pool harvesting, Uniswap and Sushi. And of course, testing that. We're also going to expect to get a new block height. In other words, if you've got assets within that block height that are on Ethereum, you should see those on your Pulsechain because the previous block that was used for Pulsechain testnet 2 is very old now, months and months old. So getting an updated blockchain there will mean you'll see a lot of your current assets most likely on that chain. So very, very cool. So that's what we're expecting, folks, this week, probably in the next, we could easily see it in the next 48 hours, in my opinion, based on when Richard said it. So looking good there. Obviously, then after that, we're waiting for Pulsechain testnet 3, also expecting that to be shorter, maybe 2 weeks. And of course, that's going to have the full AMM bot. So if we're getting half the AMM bot on Pulsechain with version 2 on there for Pulsechain testnet 2.5 on Pulsechain testnet 3, we should get the full AMM bot being tested. And that should include version 3 harvesting, which is more complicated. So that's probably the only thing that could hold us up at this stage is the maths around harvesting version 3, because the difference is that on version 2, you put funds on both sides of the pool. So if you had Hex USD, you'd put funds USD and Hex on both sides of the pool. But with version 3, you can put tokens on just one side of the pool. In version 2, you get spread along the price curve, and pull version 3, it can be just part of the price curve. that you're playing in. And of course, on top of that, Vision 3 also has different fees. So in Vision 2, you only have 0.3 fee. In Vision 3, you can have set your own fee and have different fees on there. So I not think the fee issue is such a big deal, but I think definitely those first two components are where clever maths is required. So we'll see what the team what they do with that and the solution they have for harvesting that. But once again, they can do estimations. It's going to be like a 10,000 multiple to get that 1 million X. There's about 1.2 million more Pulse than there is ETH, and so that's that 10,000 multiple there. So we'll see how that plays out. But that's what's expected, folks. That's where we are. We're in the last mile here. 77 days of testnet 1. 93 days of testnet 2 so far, and of course we're hoping for 2 short Pulsechain testnets. That's our hope. 2 weeks each, maybe. If that can keep to that, would be pretty cool. But of course, this is software testing. We've got to be pragmatic. If it falls out longer than this, that's the way it's going to be. We know that Pulsechain testnet 3 was expected to be short, but of course we weren't. When that was said, 2.5 wasn't in play. But those are the 2 things coming up there. So let's hopefully they fit pretty close to my guesstimate here. And of course, that would make the earliest time is the key phrasing. Earliest time for Pulsechain and PulseX is now the 15th of April. But once again, it is dependent on these testnets here. In between, of course, Pulsechain testnet and the mainnet is also a snapshot block. And of course, we'll find out this is for the actual airdrop, the biggest airdrop in crypto history. If you have assets on Ethereum and for this particular block, you will get them copied to Pulsechain. That's a pumpamental. That's what we're expecting to give us this big green candle as well. So these are the big drivers. I think Pulsechain testnet 3 may push us now. Previously, I said I didn't think thought it would give us some momentum, but not really give us a huge price jump. But now that we've got Pulsechain testnet 2.5 and everything else has been delivered, I think that once we get to Pulsechain testnet 3, that will really be a trigger for pushing the price up. And of course, the snapshot block is a no-brainer if that ever came out. I don't know how Richard's going to do that sort of disclosure. But of course, Pulsechain, mainnet, and PulseX will need to be known by the validators. So we've got validators, maybe we've got 40, 50 validators. Only 33 are going to be in rotation when it goes live. They're going to need to know about Pulsechain going live, right? Because they've got to validate the chain. So that's going to be pretty interesting. They may keep mum's the word, but who knows whether they let that go. A big shout out to David Feder, of course, is going to run a public validator. Definitely, if you want to look at that, I think supporting him for that would be pretty cool. And he'll probably have a pretty favorable payout to the public as well. So big shout out to David Feder there. You have to stake, of course, with the validator as well. Cool. All right, so that's looking good, folks. That is the roadmap in yellow. That's all the Pulsechain stuff, and PulseX there in red. And of course, that's all waiting for Pulsechain now for PulseX, all launching at the same time. And of course, that's pretty much it. The Hex Investment Trust down here has launched. I've got a little question mark there, but I should tick that off now because it's been done. That is launched, and of course, we expect them to start receiving money in the short term. Now, they want to get to 10 million within 3 months, and of course, I think they'll do it probably pretty quickly, is my guess. Maybe 6 to 8 weeks. They could do it even faster. They want about 50 people, and of course, these are accredited investors or institutions that can do that. So that's going to be pretty critical. Not institutions in a technical sense, but groups, as I would say. And of course, Hex Investment Trust there. That could end up being it's going to be buy Hex, stake Hex 555, and never sell. That's pretty positive too. They're also looking at doing a DS conference to pro investors. That's coming up in the future too. And of course, that's to traditional markets, not to crypto markets per se. So looking good to that. So those are the key things coming up, folks. And of course, we've still got the Talladega sponsored Hex car race there with JJ Yelly coming up on the 24th of April. So a big shout out to Cabana Crypto, who's going to be attending that. So nice. That's the roadmap, folks. Woohoo! We're getting there. Just a bit more patience. We're in that quiet zone. The price chart shows it. In crypto, when it's quiet, the chart can tend to sell down as well. So we've got that not just linked to Pulsechain, but just the quietness as we wait for that as well. So cool. All right, nice on there. We're going to get on to Hedron. Woohoo! But let's get in the chat because I'm way behind on the chat there. An hour and 30 minutes. Not too bad today. And let me find out where I was. Have I actually lost where I was? Oh my gosh, I think I've completely lost where I was in the contents and the comments there. That's terrible. This is the first time ever, like totally ever. All right, so nice. I'm talking like a Valley girl now, Valley from Valley girl. All right, so let's have a look here. Let's jump through some of these. I apologize if I haven't seen it. 409, we're up to 420. Let me just start off the last 10 minutes. I apologize if I missed some of your comments. I'm just going to scroll down here and get into maybe the last 10 minutes of comments. There we are. So Craig Welling says, when PulseX, sir? Same time as Pulsechain, sir. Completion Fail says, what's up? What else we got? Completion Fail says, PulseX is going to be a beast. Can't wait. Me too. Diamond Hand says, RH is a game genie. That's right. Yeah, game master in crypto. And of course, you can buy gold and but man, the returns are so low, relatively speaking. It's just insane in the membrane. Pulsechain, thank you for your support, Benny. Craig says, hey, Diamond Hands. Actually, have the Diamond Hands, folks. And like I said, now is kind of the accumulation phase. And I think that Randy Hilasky said that really well in his latest video too. Diamond Hands says, woohoo, nice one. Let me have a look here. We'll jump through some of this. Completion Fail says, when do you guys think Pulse will launch? March, April, May. Tefron's got April or May. Carpet Up says 10,000x may swing the decision. Says Carpet Up. Yeah, that's true. April Sooner says Diamond Hands. And Craig Wanning says, as long as the launch is before PulseCon, I'll be happy. Lol. Yeah. June, July, August. Lol says Completion Fails. Nice one. And Tefron's, yeah, June, July, August. Diamond Hands says, I'll never sell my PulseX. I like that, Diamond Hands. Man, oh man. It's going to be so good to see PulseX go up in price. Can't wait for it, to be honest. Imagine thousands and thousands of trading peers all supporting the price of the PulseX token is insane. Then having staking, of course, means that people that have more Diamond Hands are going to get more of that as well too. So it's so good. Gets it off the market. Even these things, the buy and burn, the staking just pumps the price even bigger and bigger. It's insane. And of course, then with the bridge on top of that, so you got the buy and burn, you've got the staking, you've got the bridge. Oh, you got liquid loans. Oh my gosh, the pumpamentals are insane. They're insane, man. Oh man, this is crazy. Or maybe September, October. No, Tefron, not Tefron. Get out, Tefron, get out. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so cool. We got the completion. It's very, very true. The completion is this waiting game sucks. Yeah. So one of the positives about a waiting game is the fact that it builds up this pent up demand. So on top of everything else we talked about, the actual waiting actually builds up that tension. Just like in Hex, we had that in Hex. We waited like over a year. And of course, when the first day of the AA lobby on the 2nd of December 2019 happened, people just FOMO'd in. After Richard said, don't FOMO in, everyone FOMO'd in. And of course, it took about 3 months, I think, before, or 2 months? I think maybe 3 months before people got up to that price. And it really was, I guess, when the Hex Goldwell started buying. I think it was in April there. So it really is insane towards the end of April, somewhere like that. So it really is crazy, just that waiting game. But it does build up pent-up demand. Like all of you guys are probably like so angst. I'm angst. And I'm positive, but I'm angst, because I'm like, bring it on. Of course, but I know we've got to be patient. But I know that angst also plays into FOMO, right? So it plays into pumped up demand. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty crazy time. AK says, what's your thoughts on Rackham PLS 8000 Expedition? Is that from day one sack rate possible? How many years? So 2 years was the prediction time, and of course from price discovery, which typically would mean the market's price, not the cost price, but the market price, the all-time low, is the way I interpret the Rackham conversation. Because that's the previous comment he made about price was also from the all-time low, which he was specific about. This time he used the word price discovery, which I interpret to be the all-time low again. Yeah, typically what we're going to see is the price go up at the beginning, right? We just don't know where it's going to land and find the price discovery. So we'll see how that goes. All right, I hope that answers it. And okay, but hey, on the Pulse chain, I definitely see that as a very real thing. Was it ETH? I can't remember what ETH did. I think it was 16,000% or something, but it was pretty big on that. So yeah, definitely in play. Carpet Up. That's actually was supposed to be my topic today, but I got distracted about that. So I apologize for not getting onto that one. That was supposed to be my topic for today. Carpet Up says PulseX on. Oh, there goes my dyslexia. Yeah. Benny says I'm not selling anything for a long time. Says Benny. I like that. That's very wise. I want to be a fat cat smoking cigars in the suit. Yeah. You might as well get onto the Magic Carpet Ride YouTube channel. He's smoking those fat cigars. That was TD. I think it's TD, isn't it? Big shout out TD. Talagaga is next, says Benny. Woohoo! Oh baby, yeah. Not a financial advice. That's right. John Gibbon says, "What is the latest on the Hex Trust? Have they received any capital yet?" Now, I think they've already had interest, so I imagine that they will get some capital pretty quick. is my guess on that, John. But they haven't actually officially said anything. They've only said that they had interest already, and that indicates to me. They also said last year in November that they had $1 billion access to $1 billion network with advisors and stuff like that, and that they were super bullish on getting their 10 million within 3 months, and of course then going public. So I would suggest that they, within a short space of time, they would. Last Friday was the launch date, so I definitely think that they'll be getting capital pretty quick, but nothing official, just inferred there. BJM says, message from Paul Gallen. Hey, Sonny, Billy Williams, man up and fight. Says, oh, really? And that's pretty funny. So that's a Kiwi rugby and was it a league player, rugby league player, and who does also boxing. He's built like a superhuman, but yeah, I don't know. He's not the. He's an okay boxer. He's not the best boxer, but he's okay. He's okay. Benny says, you're the man. Hex Token says, Ben, I appreciate that. And Tavern says, 500,000 just staked 555. Woohoo! Really? Let's go check that out. That's worthy of talking about. Let's jump onto that. And yeah, there we are, folks. Woohoo! Nice, man. Nice. 748 D shares. Wow. 506. Man, oh man, that's insane. Remember, to do it today is so much wiser because the share rate is only going up and to the right. We're heading towards 22,000 as our next target, and we've been going up by 15 a day lately, 6 or 7, 15, something like that. This is awesome. So congratulations. This is what Hex is designed for, getting Hex off the market stake 555, of course. Very, very cool as well. I wonder if they did it as an HSI stake. That's another thing. I guess you could see that on one of the, maybe HSI has a feed on there. That'd be interesting. I haven't actually checked for that, a feed on Hedron, but maybe there is one. Nice. And Benny says, please hit the thumbs up for this man. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that, Benny. Yeah, subscribe, a like, hit the bell, share if you can. Sharing is caring, as we always say. Nice one. I used to say that. I don't know if everyone says it, but sharing is caring. Thomas Aquinas says, how do you see Pulsechain play out for the first 6 months? A huge, Thomas. It's going to, no one can predict the price, okay? But, easily the first 6 months, it could do hundreds and hundreds of X's in that time, Thomas. It really is going to be insane. We've never seen anything like this in crypto at all. So, you know what I mean? It's like really challenging, but I just see it just being huge. The buy and burn is so amazing. The staking, everything about it is just a dream come true. And I think as a part of the community, it's our job, whether we're just investors or content creators, is just to keep spreading the word, getting out to all those ERC20 communities, particularly the ones that also struggled on that platform. Like the metaverse worlds of the planet. Some of those metaverses have there's hardly any land swapping or anything like that going on because the fees are so high, right? So definitely get out, spread the word, do what you can, tell friends. We play a big role in magnifying the awesome tokenomics that we can see play out here on this diagram, what this is going to do. It's going to be pretty epic. So yeah. What else we got here? Completion says, I think Pulsechain can do between 100 and 300x within the first 6 months. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with that completion. That's kind of where I feel too. So well punned. I actually didn't read that before I made the comment. So very, very cool. Chris Marketing's got the woohoo. Catherine's got the crybabies in, and Insane in the membrane says Tinta. Hey, that's my line. That's cool. I love it. Nice one, Tinta. And we got the emojis in the house. Insane in the Pulsechain. I love that too, Craig. That is so true. Insane in the Pulsechain. That really is that mad and crazy. It's great to be able to celebrate. I'm Amp says Hodl Generation. Me too. And I'm a Hexkin says Tefrin. Woo! Yeah, very proud. Franchina's got the love out for the community. So big loves out to the community. There's 4 loves there. And bam. And what else we got there? Super Zapper's in the house. Hey, Super Zapper. Hi, how do I claim Hedron from Staker's app? Or I cannot. Hex price bottom yet. How do you claim Hedron using MetaMask? All right, so the Super Zapper, what I suggest to you is to go to David Fedor's video. So we'll find David Fedor. He's got a video on this. Fedor, I think it's fighting Fedor. So this is David Fedor, and of course he's got how to mint on one here. So this is the place to go. I will copy this over, and you can subscribe to David Fedor. And of course, this is video how to mint. I suggest watching this if you really want to know everything about Hedron. He did cover the launch of Hedron and all the details. He actually steps tutorial through everything on this first video. And of course, he's done a special video for Staker app, which is a little different. So most people stake their native Hex stakes through go.hex.com, but a lot of people with Staker app do it through the smart wallet and Staker app. And there's over 100,000 users of Staker app, but not everybody uses the smart wallet in there. And of course, these two videos here, David Fetter. David Fetter is also going to be doing David Fetter is also going to be doing a validator for Pulsechain. So hopefully he'll get enough people staking with him that he can be in the top 33, because I imagine there'll be a lot more than 33. But of course, you have to compete to stay in there with the amount of Pulse that is staked with you. So this is David Fetter here. He's also a very, very lovely guy, very intelligent, and of course, great to listen to. So definitely check out David Fetter. I'll post that in the chat here. So David Fetter, there we are. He was also on the Hexpo in Las Vegas, did some of the best commentary on Las Vegas on the first day, and on the last day, I think it was, on the dev in the morning. But check them the first day Sunday and the fourth day Wednesday for David Fetter if you want to watch him. For me, he was probably the most outstanding person at the Hexpo, apart from obviously Richard Hart and a few other people in there as well. But from terms of Hex, Pulsechain, and stuff like that, he was definitely stand out there. A really good job. So that is, let me post that. I forgot to post the link. I posted his name, but not the link there. So check that out, Super Zapper. Very, very cool. All right, let us jump back out of there and back into there. Don't forget to subscribe to Gen X there and Hex is the Way. Let's give them some support. They are doing a wonderful job. I've always talked about moving into the Asian market and getting Hexkins in there. And of course, Hex is the Way is focusing on South Korea. So that's really, really cool, trying to build a community there. Obviously, there's Hex Asians, if you've seen that on YouTube. But obviously, he's focusing on South Korea. We know that the Japanese, South Koreans, probably the biggest adopters of crypto in the Asian market. Of course, China's pretty big and other stuff. But these guys, South Korea and Japan, really led the way. Of course, Gen Hex here, go sub. Obviously, we've got 4 subs up there. So we've got 4 more subs for you there, Craig Wadding. And of course, go subscribe to Gen Hex and you'll get a couple of videos coming out this week. So going to be pretty good there too. All right, nice. And what else we got? It's now says made it. Yoo-hoo! Hey, it's now good to see you. And Hex price next in the month says Super Zapper. Magic. So nice. Yeah, we're trying to target on the Hex price. Trying to target 20 cents is where we're heading here at the moment. 1st of April was the price call there. It really depends. We've got the time, so I'm just going to stick with that one. 20 cents. How about that? Brent says, woohoo! And a hit point Hexer says, do you know if Hex stakes or liquid or both will be copied and pasted? Both of them, point Hexter. Both your liquid Hex and your staked Hex on Ethereum will both be copied over to Pulsechain. So you're going to have 2 liquid amounts on ETH and Pulsechain and 2 staked amounts on Hex on ETH and Pulsechain. You're doubling your bags, folks. Pretty awesome. What happens to the price after that? We'll find out when it happens, right? So that's kind of the thing. In basics, you can think of it like a stock split. So if the price is 10 cents now on Ethereum, you could see 5 cents on both chains. And then, of course, maybe a premium on Pulsechain if people are using a lot more, including the whales. Of course, whales make the biggest impact on price. You could see that, staying the same. And, of course, the target price at the moment by Overwatch, our biggest whale, is $1.20 on both chains. So, that's 12x from here on both chains over a 2-year period. Of course, it may do better than that, may not do as well as that. Those are people's guesses there. It's nice to see a whale give up those sort of X's there. Completion fails says, have a good night, fellas. Hey, Completion, appreciate it. You too. And Tavern says, good night, brother. Brennan says, Hex Token really making waves with subs. Well done, mate. Hey, Brennan. Pleasure. And Tin Top says, that's it, bro. I thought we were hanging out. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's pretty funny. It's Nana says, like it up, Hexkins. Absolutely. Hex Token, David Fetter. That's the link there. And thanks, says Super Zapper. Yeah, you're welcome. Brennan says, welcome to welcome to you, our wrench leader. Yeah, that's right. So it's now it's kind of like the foreman of the wrench leaders there. We appreciate all the moderators, of course, on the channel. What's the truth says, if I didn't sacrifice, I get sacrifice for Pulse. What does anyone recommend if a person would want to get into Pulse? Well, you've got obviously you're going to get the copy on everything you've got on Ethereum over onto the Pulse chain. you'll be able to buy Pulse when the trading is up after the AMM bot runs. That's the automatic market maker. And of course, you could do that. You could also, if you've got PulseX, you can trade for PulseX. You're just going to be careful of the ratio trading there. Yeah, otherwise you can bridge stuff over through the bridge, or you can even, once the gateway's open, you could easily use fiat. So there's at least 4 ways there of doing it. The easiest, cheapest way, of course, is having your tokens on Ethereum getting copied over to Pulsechain and then just swapping those out, because you'll have a free airdrop there. It's probably the way to go. Cool. You can do some other things, of course, privately, but that's some of the things you can actually do on the chain. Get ready for it. Tintot says the format is in the chat. Everyone act cool. Yeah, nice. All right, J-Pond PLS6 says, mate, your shows will have to be 3 hours minimum when it all gets launched. MSS, oh man, I agree with you, J-Pond. They're definitely trying to be doing an hour and 20, but we've been going over the last couple of days over an hour and 20. Man, oh man. Yeah, man, oh man, says J-Pond. That's right. I'm saying that too. Is that what I say? I mean, I said man, oh man. I don't even realize that. So there we are. Cool. Thanks. I think once you start doing content creating, you do get in a couple of catchphrases they use a lot. And on top of the lingo from whatever country you're on, you probably got your own lingo. So you sort of mix that stuff. Sometimes when I read stuff in the chat and you guys are saying certain lines, I'll start think if I like them, I like it, cool. I start saying them a lot. So that's kind of funny too. What else we got here? Love it, says J-Pon. Craig says new wrench has to buy the bears, the Bintang bears, as we say. What else? Dig the new Hex Token chat thing. Yeah, absolutely cool. They look cool, don't they? Some of the new emojis look really good. Let me just catch up here. Nice. I think we're getting up there. Who's buying in, says Craig. Nice. What else? We'll jump through some of these. Wrench Team 6 says Brazology. I like it. That's good attitude. I think that's up to. I think we're up to date, folks. There we are. Thumbs up. Let's get into Hedron. Boom ya. Boom chakala. So definitely get to David Feder's channel. Subscribe. He does great work. And of course, here we are. We've got 2 days and 20 hours to go until you will get an 8x. But you want a 9x. You can get a 9x now. You got 2 days and 20 hours to lock in that 9x. Now, when you go, Hedron has pretty much got 3 main features to it. The airdrop, pretty much. That's the claiming and minting of Hedron for your native hex stakes. So every hex stake that you've got through Staker app or through go.hex that you've made, you can then claim Hedron against it for every day that you've served on those stakes. So you get 1 Hedron per B share times the days served. So take that into account. On top of that, of course, there's a special launch bonus for 100 days. Every 10 days, it's going to go down by 1x. So it starts off at 10x for the first 10 days. I think we're in day 17 now. So it's a 9x now. And then, of course, next 10 days will be 8x. In 2 days and 20 hours it starts. And then, of course, next 10 days is 7x, etc. Excuse me, I got hiccups. But first 100 days is the bonus. And, of course, once that launch bonus goes, it'll just be 1x. So you'll just get 1 Hedron per B share per day served. So lock in those bonuses, folks. How do you do that? So pretty much you connect your wallet up. This is a read only, by the way. So you connect your wallet up and it will show your stakes in the bottom here. And then, of course, you'll have 2 functions. It'll have an action button next to each stake that you've got. And basically what it's doing, it's just reading what your hex stakes are for that wallet. And it will have an action button. And in that action button will be 2 features. It will be minting and claiming. And it's the claiming one that you want to hit. That locks in your 9x bonus today. If you leave it for another 2 days and 20 hours, you'll only be able to lock in an 8x for that stake. So that claim bonus, which is a special launch bonus, lasts for the entirety of your hex stake. So if your hex stake is for 10 years, then it's going to last all of 10 years. So you'll get a 9x bonus today. And of course, after 100 days, it's only going to be 1x. So there'll be no bonus there. You'll just, whatever the stakes is going to be, you're going to be. So it really is like a massive airdrop for you right now. Massive. So definitely, if you're not going to mint your tokens that you get, your Hedron per hex, definitely claim the 9x bonus as well before it goes to 8x. It's a big deal. A lot of us are after 2x or 3x in price uplift. Well, why would you lose a volume bonus of the same magnitude? Just makes no sense. So 9x bonus there. Once again, you can watch David Feder's videos on how to do that on Staker app, and of course the main video launched there. You have a lot of the products there as well. All right, so that's how you do it, folks. And of course, it's free. It's free. Very, very cool. Now, the other things you can do, number 2, of course, is not just the free airdrop, the claim and minting, but you can also add Hedron to your MetaMask wallet there, just pointing that out. is the second thing is Hex Stake Instance. If you want to make a new stake, it's like a jar. You take a jar, you put the Hex into the jar. It's called a wrapped stake. Of course, that's going to add up new features that you can do with it. And of course, one of those features is turning that into an NFT, which is the next step. So you can turn it into a non-fungible token. You can sell that stake at any time in the future on OpenSea, something like that, or just send it to a friend, whatever you want to do. You can do that. So cool. That's create a stake here. You have to prove the Hex token, of course. You then have to put the amount in the days that you want to stake. It's going to put that into a jar, wrap it up. That's a wrap stake. And then, of course, you can, another button there for making an NFT. So just take into account, that's what you can do. Let me just jump there. So that's the second feature. Of course, the third feature is once you've made an HSI stake, you can actually borrow against it. So even though you haven't served any days on that stake, you've just opened it up. Once it becomes live after the first 24 hours or whatever, the UTC time that Hex turns over its next day, you can actually borrow against that. It won't work until the stake has gone live, but you can borrow all the days ahead of it in the future. So you can actually borrow that, and of course you'll have to pay it back. So you have to pay it back a certain amount every month, and of course if you fail to pay that back, I think it's after 3 months, then it will go to liquidation. Just be careful of that. And of course liquidations, we'll see them here. Obviously Hedron's just launched. We shouldn't see any of these liquidations for a long time, months and months away is my guess. So maybe 6 months or at the earliest or something like that. So we'll definitely do that. But once, of course, if there is a stake that's gone in liquidation, you can actually use your Hedron to bid for it in an auction. And if you win, your Hedron gets destroyed. That gets Hedron off the market, makes it deflationary. But also you win that Hex stake, which is like a bonus, right? You pick up another stake of Hex, man, used with the Hedron. And if you got your Hedron free, man, that's like a winner chicken dinner, right? As we like to say. Cool. So those are kind of the three main functions, folks. Very, very nice. And of course, that's the way it works. So hopefully that helps there. Once again, you can watch David Fedder's videos on there. Nice. So you can borrow. There's lots of, once you do a HSI stake, there are lots of different things to read. So once you make one of these, you'll have your HSI stake down the bottom here with your native stakes, the ones that you made through go.hex.com. But once again, there's lots of features. You have to read the notices. It talks about all of the fees that you might get charged if you borrowed against that sort of thing like that. So just read them as you go, and you can always watch David Fedder's video. So that's it, folks. Pretty awesome. Done by Alex, of course. Big hats off to him. Super successful. Very cool. The Origin account and, of course, the Hex Gold Whale have both minted their tokens. So it's a bit of a cool thing as well. All right, so let's finally get on to the sacrifices. Here we go. We are way over time, but we're having fun, so why not, eh? That's just the way it goes. Let's see here. So Brendan says, Hex token catchphrases, man oh man, bam, woohoo. Yeah, that's right. You got it good there, Brendan. Nice one. I have to make emojis for all of those now. Nice one. Speaking of Bintang, where's Matt? Matt's traveling. I think he's looking for an island to buy, to call it Hex Island or something, Hexton Island or something. So I think that's the case. Wrench Team 6 taking out Bin Hedron. Yeah, that's right, Craig. That's great. I love it. Some good stuff there. We've got Gen Hex with the bears. Nice. Taking out Scam Laden. What else we got going on here? We've got some cool emojis flying in on a 3-second block helicopter. That's true. What else? So Benny says epic stream. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and you guys have been great in the chat. I appreciate it. I love a vibrant chat. Really, the community is number one. So very, very cool, man. My man Hex Token is on fire. If you haven't thumbs up, shame on you. Says Benny, nice one. Craig says might as well give Benny a Blancher a wrench. He's been has a box full of other channels. Well, where's Benny? Let's find Benny. Benny, you're gonna get promoted to a moderator. Let's go here. I haven't asked. It's now, but I'm sure that should be an issue there. Moderator, Paul. All right, congratulations, Benny. Welcome to the moderator team. Wrench Team 6. Wrench Team 6. Brennan says, I accidentally ended my father's 1-year stake without minting his Hedron. We did the claim at 10x, but didn't mint. I'll have to send him some of mine to make up for it out of goodwill. Oh, that's a shame, Brendan. Yeah, definitely. You got to mint before you end your stake, folks. Otherwise, you'll lose the Hedron, as Brendan just showed us. Nice. What else we got there? Going good. Just jumping through that. Lots of comments. So nice. Much love, says Benny. I appreciate it. Nice. All right. So here we are. We've got liquid loans. This is our last topic of the day. The Pulsechain project sacrifices is the projects that are third party coming on to the Pulsechain. We've got liquid loans, of course, 45. Let's do a refresh here. 45, is it 45.7 million? Looking good. 9,213 wallets, probably 15 to 20,000 if you include the Magic Carpet Ride and other pool syndicates. 1 trillion and 98 billion loan tokens, and probably about 25% of those are coming out immediately. The rest of them will be deferred over 2 years, with a good third of those or more at the end after 2 years. So cool, including the Hex Gold Well. There's 6 days and 8 hours left. Yeah, we're in the final 7 days, but we're almost in the last 6 days. This will be cool when it's finished, to be honest. Like I say, I think it's going to be good. Now you can check your sacrifice there. We've got the pool syndicate there, and that's the Magic Carpet Ride team. We've got the Hex Gold Well here. All the rest of the addresses look pretty similar, as I always say. We'll just jump into the Magic Carpet Ride team, see where they've got the latest stake one here. See how much they're still sacrificing. March, we're looking for March. I don't even know it's day. March the 14th, I guess we're looking for. Man, oh man, these guys have been busy sacrificing, man. It's insane. Okay, all right. March the 13th. So I can't see one for March the 14th. Oh, there we are, March 14th. So we've got 3 days. 1, 2, 3. We've got $1,600, $1,700. Whoa, plus 55,600. Are you kidding me? Man, oh man, that was a big one. Someone sacrificed late, but big. And of course, they're lucky that they're going in the Magic Carpet Ride team, because it's still going to get a big multiplier. And of course, they're going to get that delayed for 1.5. So they're getting delayed for 2 years. So clever move on their part, because they were late. They're going to still get really good big payday, big loan bonus, 442. 294. So lucky someone there through the Magic Carpet Ride team, because they've got the top multiplier. That's a big offset for them. Lucky. So congratulations to them. Very cool. Top 50. You need $9,000. Can you believe it? It's been the top 500 for liquid loan sacrifice. 9,000 buckaroos. That'll give you about, this person's got 90 million points, but the person above them also got 9,000, and they're getting 238. So this one must have been pretty late with their sacrifice. It's pretty much tapered off here for sure. Yesterday was 714, now 820. So up about 105, but really half of that was that one big sacrifice that delayed for 2 years. Very cool. We'll jump through from that. We've got 17.8 million deferred for 2 years. The rest of it's all deferred. And then, of course, like I say, we've got 17 million that's going to be upfront, and it's probably about 25% of the tokens. So that's really cool. If you're going to stake, I don't expect all these people to stake either in the loan tokens. There'll be some that will be speculating. And of course, maybe we might get 80%, 70% staked. So even now there's 25%, we might only get 70, 80%. That's my guesstimate there, just based on seeing other projects. Very cool. We've got the Magic Carpet Ride team, 23%, and the Hex Gold Well at 19.5. But this stuff's not coming out for 2 years. Very, very cool. Not many days left. Let's go to this chart. It's a bit easier to read. $1 will get you 5,050 points. That's earlier pays better. Obviously, there's earlier pays better, bigger pays better, longer pays better, which is the big one that can really influence how many loan tokens you get. You get 6% per month, 150% for 2 years delay. And of course, the referral bonus, 5% referral bonus if you get that too. So there's 4 ways of getting it stuff. And very, very cool. I think most of us have sacrificed for liquid loans, so pretty cool. We're going the last week, folks. Very, very cool. We're going to finish tomorrow. It's going to be 4,800 points per dollar. Obviously, today's 550, and then the last day is going to be 3,768. So that's the end of it. That's liquid loans, folks. Super successful. Let us go. And of course, there's a video out on liquid loans today with the CEO. So if you want to watch that, go watch that on Liquid Loans YouTube with the CEO there. All right, so that was liquid loans. Let's go to Mintra very quickly. And of course, we've got 10,578,000 sacrificed, 2,932 wallets, and there is 1,812,000,000 mint tokens. 3 days and 12 hours left. So this one's going to be the first one to finish out of this one. And then what have we got there? We've got Hex Gold Well, 4 million at the top there. Another millionaire in there as well, number 2. Let's scroll down from there. Yesterday was 10.5 million. Today is almost 10.58. So about another $80,000 almost in today's increase. So not too bad actually. What else we got? Like I say, most of the wallets, most of the money's in the big wallets there. We've got a lot of small wallets after that, a lot of small wallets after that. Hex Gold Whale controls 48.75% of this too. So really dominating liquid loans and, of course, particularly dominating Mintra, which is the NFT marketplace, right? So awesome stuff. They're going to love it. If that is successful, like MetaMask is, the Hex Gold Whale will be printing money unbelievably. So hats off to them for that. Obviously, we're only 4 days left to go. You get 53,000 points per dollar at the moment. Tomorrow it's going to be 50,500, and then the final day will be 45,800. So it really falls away pretty fast here as well. So that's for Mintra. That's Gerado's one. And of course, I think they've probably got a slight advantage there on having big YouTube promoters, that some of the top YouTube channels in Hex Pulsechain promoting that. And of course, if Gerado makes an alliance with Hodl Dog and a few others, man, they could really dominate the NFT marketplace there because many of the people in the community already follow that. And of course, a lot of those people would recommend it to other people that are not in the community, and they're going to come over for the airdrop to get on there. So that could be super bumpermental for Mintra there. I think this, in terms of fundamental cost, this is probably 10 times what the money they need. This is the only issue I have with sacrifices, is if the money gets too big. It's like a bit like oversubscribing to a capital raise. But that said, of course, if this even 10% is successful as OpenSea, then I think that this would be well worth it from that point of view. I think people would be making pretty awesome fees on that. Understand that about 2.25% is going to be the fee or something like that. Half of that percent is going to go to, I think, buy and burn. The other half's going to go back as dividends pretty much to the holders of Mintra token. I think that's how it works. And of course, yeah, pretty awesome there. That is that one. So we jump over to PowerCity. This is the third one that's live at the moment, of course. And we've got $1,286,000, of course, 1,151. So they've reached over $1 million. They've actually accelerated from that. That's really great growth. They're now up to 3 million watt tokens. I actually really like this. I haven't sacrificed for it yet, but I'm actually wanting to. So I'm thinking I better hurry up because I've got a day and 19 hours to go. We'll see how I get on, whether I do or not. Haven't yet. So I'm running out of time and I really need to do it. Because the 1.75. I have a bit of a complication because of the other bonuses that are there if you sacrifice for other wallets, because I was in different syndicates or something. So it's a little different from that. So I may not be able to get all the benefits. But here's the top wallet, 50,000. It took over this one. This was the top wallet, 47 for days and days and days. This one here has just jumped over it now. Yesterday were $50,000. So a bit of change of the leadership there. To get in the top 500, you need $408 to get in the top 500. That's definitely lifted up too. So pretty cool. And of course, you can see on the chart here, it was 1.23 million yesterday. It's now 1.28. So what's about $50,000 up in the last day, which is a nice little jump there. And of course, it's funny, once things reach $1 million, sometimes they can actually accelerate a little bit. That's pretty cool. Lots of small wallets, of course, but we've got a couple of decent ones up the top here. But really the distribution is beautiful, right? What an very even distribution. Very, very cool. Not like the other ones, liquid loans and Mintra. This is actually, the whales don't really dominate too much. So very nice spread here. Cool as well. This is the bonding curve, of course. You get two watt tokens per dollar. There's about a day and 8 hours or something to go for that. And it's going to go down to 1.75, then down to 1.5, then down to 1.25, and then finally one watt token per dollar. Final day is the 5th of April. And of course, that is the earlier pays better bonus, but they do have another bonus. So we better point that out so that you guys can see that. Now, they're not only just doing NFT marketplace, they're doing bridges, NFT marketplaces, metaverse, all that good stuff. They've got about at least 5 major product areas. And of course, that means that they've got a lot more to deliver than Mintra, because Mintra just has to do the NFT marketplace, right? So it's going to be interesting to see that play out. All right, so cool. This is the earlier pays better here. That's it here. That's what we're in at the moment. So we're in this day here, day 9. And of course, there is the other bonus as well, recognition of prior sacrifices. This is additional. You get 15% for Pulsechain, 15% for Pulsex, 12.5% for liquid loans, and 12.5% for internet money, which we're about to talk about. This is an example of that. Sacrifice points. So $15,000 sacrifice times 2 points per dollar at the moment. That would give you 30,000. watt tokens. And of course, if you did all those sacrifices up here, you would get a bonus of 55.5% on your 15,000. So it would give you 8,325 tokens. Total was 38,325. So it gives you an idea of how it works out. Obviously, you have to use the same wallet as you did for these sacrifices. Just make that. Otherwise, these won't qualify, right? Because they're going to read your wallet and see what you sacrificed for. Cool. They also have this cool thing over here where as they reach higher and higher totals, well, it looks like they've pretty much reached this one here. This one here, 48 random wallets will get 30% bonus on top of that. Now, we know that Charity was in the chat the other day. She said that she got that too. So presumably, so nice on that one. Cool. That is PowerCity. It's number 3. Last one, number 4. And of course, we're going to get into that. We're on an hour and 48 minutes, so doing pretty well here. And let me just jump back to this one here. I'm going to close out of that. Bam. Now, this site that we're looking at is howpulse.info. Hexpulse.info. That's hexpulse.info, so you can check that out. Yeah. What are we up to? So we're going to the final one. Where is it? Internet money. Here we are. Internet money. Here we go. Boom. All right. So this is a little different, this one. This is different tokenomics from the other one. The other one's if you sacrifice $1, every dollar sacrifice, the pool's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But this one here is different. This one is there was a pool A and a pool B. Pool A, they had to reach 1.2 million. And in a pool B, they would open up. That would give you 71.8% of all the tokens, that 1.2 million. But then the second one was they would open up 1% for every $100,000. So less lucrative, right? Less lucrative. And of course, they're now up to 1,358,000. So now they've opened up 4% more of that 10%. So they had 10%. The total amount is going to be 80.8%. And of course, they've opened up 1% every 100,000, and that's going to last for 5 days. So it closes off within 5 days. So you got to get that into a place. Now, there were a few things wrong with the launch day. The website was down. They did have a dev working on that to get it back up. So they did the best efforts for that, but it was a bit sad having the website go down. And also the pool A was a little bit towards the end. You didn't really know what the balances was. So some people might get disappointed if it's been incorrectly allocated from pool A to pool B. And of course, there was just so there were a few. It's probably if you're sacrificing, it's a little annoying. Obviously, they did their best effort once the issues were recognized. But it's kind of one of those awkward sort of things. But anyway, that said, it has been super successful. Within an hour and 15 minutes, folks, they pretty much sold out. Pool A, 1.2 million in about an hour and 15 minutes. I said that I was very confident they would sell it out pretty soon, and that's what happened. And of course, pretty exciting. That was all on the launch was on the Magic Carpet Ride show, so you can check that out. Shout out to them, of course. So the estimated tokens at the moment is 1,456,000,000, and of course they're up to 4%. So after this, they could have another 6% open up for another $600,000 pretty much. They got 905 wallets in here. Very, very cool. Sacrifice transactions go to pool B. All right, so just take that into account. Now this figures on here as an estimate. So hopefully it is. Hopefully these the final ones, the actual official ones, are correct. Because I looked at my ones and my one wasn't correct. So hopefully they will be. Hopefully it's not what this on this estimation. But in any case, this should be mostly correct. But anyway, we'll see what happens there. Sacrificed here, $126,000 is number one there, and 114. So that's pretty decent money for this as well. Now they also have another project on Binance Smart Chain that's done so. That's really going to get copied to Pulsechain too, and of course that may do much better on Pulsechain when it launches there. It's on Binance Smart Chain there as well. They're doing a big burn on that one, but this is a different project. Of course, this is all about having a MetaMask wallet on Pulsechain, and of course the fees will go. A good amount of the fees will go back to the holders. That's what makes the fundamentals really. These are all kind of hold tokens, but people, it's crypto. People are going to speculate, right? So it's just the way it goes. All right, so cool. That is that. And of course, we're going to scroll down here past these charts. Largely a lot of smaller wallets in this, but we've got a couple of little big ones at the top there. Distribution not quite as good as PowerCity, but pretty good compared to Liquid Loans and Mintra. With the distributions, not too bad. But you've got some big wallets at the top there, controlling about 10% each. 25% in the top 3 wallets, pretty much. So that's pretty much that. So yes, super successful launch day. Was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, and of course 1.2 million, and now they're still climbing. I imagine that they've got a very good chance of getting pretty close before the 5 days ends up to sell out Pool B. We could see that happening. So that would be 2.2 million, I think, is if I'm right on that. So we're up to 2% there, not 4%. Sorry, I take that back. We're up to 2%. So 1.2 million plus $158,000. So they're in 2% there. They've got another 8% left. So the total raise could go to 2.2 million. That'd be all the 80.8% given out. The remaining 90.2% is for the team. No expectations, works of others. Hopefully they do the right thing with that supply. Because don't forget they're getting the sacrifice money, and then they got 19.2% of the tokens as well. So hopefully they do all the right thing for that. They are docs team. They did KYC themselves, so that's positive. And hopefully they're going to be good, not just at making the software, but good marketers. I said that you need good promotion and marketing. It's one thing making a product, but you got to get people to use it. So that's the thing. And I think that's one of the advantages that Mintra has, having Gerardo and other people, big YouTubers, being able to promote it. So just some food for thought there. But very successful, folks, really successful. An hour and 15 minutes, sold 1.2 million. Pool A was sold out. Now in Pool B at the moment. Of course, Pool A was more lucrative, but Pool B is in play. If you want to pick up these tokens, you'll obviously be able to earn some of the fees from the wallet. And, of course, that could be a great source of passive income for many years. So very exciting. Cool. That is the last topic. Woohoo! We're up to an hour and 54 minutes. Man, oh man, this is crazy good. So very exciting. And let us get on to some of the comments here. We're going to wrap up now in the last couple of minutes, the last 4 or 5 minutes. So let's go. It says, let it slide. And what else we got there? I can't wait to try liquid loans out, says Benny. Me too. Bam, wrench gang. Yeah, absolutely. Where does sacrifice dollars go? It just gets destroyed? No. So they go to the team pretty much, but you're not supposed to expect any work from others. It's kind of the idea there. Some of them may qualify for the Howie test. Some of them may not qualify. I'll leave it up for you to decide. I tossed liquid loans 50K at the last minute, says Benny. Nice one, Benny. Jesse is a good dude. Jesse is a really good dude in liquid loans. Big shout out to him. I like the whole team. I think the whole team pretty awesome. And liquid loans, so big shout out to them. And I look forward to no expectations, but I look forward to marketing and other cool stuff. That's a lot of money, man. 45.5 million is a lot of money. Craig, and they're also getting loan tokens, right? So, which I think are a long life. So I don't think they get them for a little while, is what I understand it. So, yeah, hopefully they pay it forward to the people that sacrifice for sure, because, that's probably the right case. Craig says, I can't wait to hodl all my stuff and live off the yield from PLX, liquid loans, AMD, Watt, Mint, Hedron, Hex, and EX. Man, Craig, what a great summary that is. Very, very cool. War chest, Craig, war chest. Yeah, war chests are good if they're used for the war, right? If you've got to use them for the war, can't use them for the bintang beers on Bali. Although some people do. Shout out there. All right, let's jump from there. What else we got here? Tim Tot says liquid loaded and orchestrated equals suit, cigars, and hexagon pinky rings. It probably does. And Guay is up at 30, as we say. Hex says, just joined the stream, but what website is he on? Yeah, it's Hex Pulse Info. Let me just go back up to here. And let me just pull this. I'll post this in chats, hexpulse.info. I think I thought I had added this to the description in the video, but there it is anyway. Just drop that in the chat there. We could buy all Bitcoin cruise ships and rename it a Sausage Fest. I hope not, Craig. Hope not. Benny says, let's remember to be patient. Richard doesn't do things half-ass. When Pulse comes, it's going to be done correct, just like Hex is correct. Absolutely. And that's so priceless, right? That's so priceless. Absolutely good point. What else we got going there? Just jumping through some of this. Hex Pulse says, I think Hex is going to take a minimum to consolidate, which is just fine. Let it bags ready to accumulate. The next run, I think, can take at least another 6 months if there's no Pulsechain release. Well, let's hope not for that Hex Pulse. Craig Welling says that they should be spinning the wheel again after hitting 1 million on PowerCity. Absolutely, they should be. I expect a video too, Craig, on PowerCity one. Does Hex have any admin keys? No, it does not. Your average Joe. And Brent says, can we have a poll next stream to see what the chat thinks if Hex Token is a whale, shark, dolphin, squid? No, we can't do that, Brendan. Hex Token is the OA. Yeah, if it was the OA, then yeah, it would be funny. Right, Finrex says, no, Hex is an immutable code. Absolutely. What else we got going there? Michael O'Keefe's in house and says, IM website was only down for a few minutes. I got code off it about 5 minutes after launch. Nice one, Michael. It was down a bit longer than 5 minutes, though, but I get your point. They did get back up and running. Craig Wedding says Sandy Beach just got a bonus on Power Wheel. No way. Well done, Sandy Beach. Woohoo! Nice. Congrats, Sandy. Absolutely great stream, says Benny. I appreciate that. This man is a legend. Appreciate it. Nice one. Oh, man. Woohoo! Says different. Nice one. And what else we got going? Just jumping through some of this. Inda says, if I sacrifice for liquid loans for extended period, let's say 6 months, will I get my tokens up to 6 months? Yes, after 6 months or immediately after sacrifice. No. Well, there's going to be a website up that will show you your points. I don't think they're doing an intermediary token, which Internet Money, I think, is doing an intermediary token where they drop you a token until the real thing. Yeah, liquid loans, I don't think they're doing that at all. There will be a website with the official sacrifice amounts that will include earlier pays better, bigger pays better, longer pays better, and your referral bonus. Expecting that. Jexa told us that already. But you don't get the tokens until 6 months. You'll get the contract, you'll get the tokens immediately, but they'll be in a smart contract, is the way I understand it. But you won't actually, those won't be releasable. They'll be bonded for 6 months. Does that make sense? You won't get them out of that smart contract until then. That's the way I understand it's going to work. The other thing, of course, is that you get 6 times 6% bonus for longer pays better. So you get 36% more loan tokens by doing a 6-month delay. Nice one. Here's the Hex Pulse site. Hey, Benny. Jay Pond's in the house. Woohoo! Michael says, how do you know if you get the PowerCity bonus? Well, you have to watch the show. They do a live stream on the Magic Cup Ride team's YouTube. That's probably the way to see that. And, of course, they'll have the points at the end of the sacrifice period, no doubt. Nice. Cheers, Hex Token. Another knowledgeable stream. I appreciate that, Brennan. We've got lots of people posting the links there. Nice one. I love it. You guys, you mods rock. You mods rock. Hey, we're coming up to 2 hours, so I better wrap it up, sir. Your average show. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. And what else we got going? These are. I'm not sure what's happening there. Please be careful, team. What else we got? Every Hex link there. Let me jump over here. Sinful Belief says, once Pulsechain launches, I'm not sure you go through all the comments. No, definitely not, Sinful Believer. Definitely not. Inger says, thanks, bro. Nice one. Much appreciated. Let's sign off, folks. 2 hours. Can you believe it? Very, very cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Man, it was extensive. And thanks for watching. Boom. All right, let's take care of this. If you're a Hex Token channel member, let's post these emojis on the way up. 2 hours. Can you believe it? And let's post these in the house. All right, nice. I'm going to punch that out. Nice, very, very cool. And we'll just sign off here. Thanks for watching. Woohoo, says Taffrin. Great stream, says Benny. Lots of love the Hex tokens there. Tin Top's in the house. Brazil's in the house. Nice one, nice one. Very, very cool. Sinful Believers in the house there as well. Thanks, Hex Token says it's now. Appreciate it. And on fire. Nice one. Great place to finish, everybody. Take care and, subscribe, like, go share, hit the bell. And, of course, DCA in the price. Hex is looking good. Hex is looking good. All right, cool. All right, bye for now. I got to get out off the stream here now. What am I doing? Help. All right, now enough of that silliness. All right, bye for now. Take care.